patience. Everybody's watching you. People you meet, they all seem to know you. Even your old friends treat you like you're something new.
Just a little bit of a reminder this morning that the Eagles are more than Hotel California, although I think you know that because the Eagles' greatest hits remains one of the biggest selling albums in the history of album sales. But this particular song is, of course, New Kid in Town. And it was on this day in 1977 that the Eagles went number one on the U.S. singles charts with that song. It was the third number one for the Eagles, also a top 20 hit in the UK, and it was the first single, New Kid in Town, from the album Hotel California. So we start our show on this Thursday, the 26th of February, with the Eagles and New Kid in Town. Number one on this day in 1977. You are number one in my heart. Thank you very much for being here and joining in the daily conversations, 9 till 1 every day, right here. You know the place. That's why you're here. And our phone lines open the minute we begin the show every day at 519-570-2545. Star 570 and 1-800-570-5715. I know you've been listening to All News Mornings, so you are aware of this already, but let's just start with a quick little shout out to our Guelph Storm. No, wait. Our Kitchener Rangers, who beat the Guelph Storm, again make it 5 in a row for the Rangers over the Storm. And even though Kitchener didn't play perfectly, they pick up the 2 points. Kitchener now has a 4-point lead for the lead in the Western Conference. I know Guelph gets to host the Memorial Cup next year, but the Kitchener Rangers have won 6 of 7 versus their Highway 7 rivals this year. I must say, though, that going to Guelph remains an absolute pleasure. It's a little bit nostalgic for me because that's where I first started my OHL broadcasting career, but some fine folks there. In fact, so fine, and this is one of the younger folks in Guelph, but our Not Everybody is a Jackwagon story today is going to come from a first-hand experience in the fine city of Guelph last evening. I will tell you that during the show today because once a day, whether you need it or not, and I think we always do need it, we get the reminder that not everybody is a jackwagon. So the Rangers win. They continue to make us happy in our hockey lives. The Leafs lose, and maybe, considering the captain of the Leafs and his behavior with Team USA at the Olympics, it makes you happy that the Leafs lost. I don't know, but I got wind of an email that the Leafs management sent to season's ticket holders yesterday, and it really sounded to me like they were kind of giving up on this season already. Only 6 points out of a playoff spot. And you got 20 games plus left in the season. You know, at the trade deadline this year, on January the 9th, the Kitchener Rangers were 8 points out of first place. They're now 4 points ahead in first place. So they have made up 12 points in a matter of a month and a half. What's the matter with you, Maple Leafs? Why can't you be more like our Kitchener Rangers?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
All right, how about 5? I'll give you 5. Can I have 5 liters of pop? Your Farwell Show 5 for this Thursday morning. Number 1, a pedestrian has been killed after being hit by a GO train near Guelph. Metrolinx confirming the tragedy around 6:30 this morning. An investigation is underway, but trains have been impacted on the Kitchener line. GO Transit is recommending commuters use the Milton or Bramalea lines in the meantime. Number 2, the region will not be taking water from Wilmot to shore up shortages elsewhere. Yet, council voting last night to defer a proposal to take up to 30 liters of water per second from Wilmot to help us through the water issues that we are currently struggling with region-wide. Several delegates spoke against the idea of taking that water from Wilmot last night, And regional councillor Sue Foxton was sympathetic to their concerns.
I hear the speakers and the talking about their wells going dry and the wetland gone. I'd like to see Mannheim. I'd like to see the other plants, how much water they have producing, and where the whole region as a whole sits. I don't want to take water from Wilmot if it's going to hurt other people.
Regional Council has deferred the issue until next month's meeting. Number 3 on your Farwell Show 5 this morning, those dormant water fountains at Hespeler and Pine Bush in Cambridge won't be coming back to life. Yet, a motion from Councillor Scott Hamilton was shot down due to overworked staff who may not have time to prepare another report on options for bringing the fountains back into use. So, Hamilton offered a modified motion.
What I'm hearing from the conversation around the horseshoe is we could amend the motion to pretty much take 2 steps. The first step just simply being that phone call to Home Depot, which I think would be pretty quick and pretty effective. And the second being that we could amend it so that we don't take staff time researching different options, looking into water and LEDs and that kind of thing, but we could simply have staff report on options. And one of those options could be adding this to the budget if indeed there are expenses with consultants down the line.
That idea was endorsed unanimously by council. Somebody get on the horn with Home Depot. Let's go sort this thing out. Number 4 on your Farwell Show 5 this morning. I know I'm talking about Toronto here for a moment, but it's an issue that we've been talking about here for quite some time. City of Toronto says it is seeing an increase in claims for damages due to potholes after recent severe winter weather, as the number of potholes filled has dropped compared to this time last year. As of Monday, the city has received almost 1,200 pothole claims, which is a 47% increase from the same period last year. And I know some of you have filed claims in Kitchener. In Toronto, the city says it has filled more than 23,000 potholes so far this year, compared to 33,100 in the same period last year. I'm curious, and I aim to find out the answer to that. How many potholes have we filled? Can I have 2 liters of pop? How many potholes have we filled this year in the region of Waterloo compared to last year in the region of Waterloo? Number 5 on your Farwell Show 5 this morning, Prime Minister Mark Carney will fly out today for a 10-day trade mission. Carney is traveling to India, Australia, and Japan as his government looks to reduce reliance on U.S. trade.
As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
As God is my witness, I thought we were filling the ding-dang potholes around here. 519-570-2545. Star 570 and 1-800-570-5715. Our phone lines open the minute the show begins every day. Gary, Farwell's Force member number 41 on the phone. Hey, Gary, you're from Guelph. You still want to talk to me? We clobbered you again last night, buddy.
Hey, I got in the truck last night, around 10 o'clock, and usually, it's around the time, and I'm like, oh, so the game must have been done, and Farwell's on his way home. So I'm like, okay, I'll wait till the morning, and then I heard the bad news this morning, and I'm like, seriously? So, that must have been a great game. I wish I could have gone to that one because, that 5-4, man, oh man, that sounded like it was going to be a good battle. So I guess I can give you congratulations on your win.
Well, thank you for that. Another Gary Botter who works at the Sleeman Center. I've known him since I was there a quarter century ago. We both started when we were 5 years old, by the way. But he came up to say hi last night too. No hard feelings that Kitchener won the game. Kitchener's a stronger team this year. Great people. I really enjoy my visits to Guelph.
Oh yeah, well, I know you've got roots back here and in Guelph and stuff, and I love the city. I've been here 25 years, and it's a great place. And unfortunately, with my schedules and stuff, it's hard to get to see a game. But I'm glad to it wasn't like a 5-1 or a 5-2. It sounded like it was a good battle. So I'll give you the congrats on this one.
All right, Gary. Thank you for that. Listen, it was junior hockey at its finest, if you ask me. It wasn't exactly a perfectly played game, but entertaining for sure. The Storm held leads 3 times. They were up 2-1, they were up 3-2, they were up 4-3. But the Kitchener Rangers, thanks in large part to Dylan Edwards and Christian Humphreys, would come from behind, trailing 4-3, and win the game 5-4. That's 5 straight wins for Kitchener over their rivals down the road in Guelph. Doug is also with us early this morning. Good morning, Douglas.
Good morning, Mike. I guess it's a matter of perception.
What's that?
I heard on your sister station in Toronto the message that was sent to the season ticket holders as well, and but the prelude to the message was that they weren't throwing in the towel. They weren't going to be sellers at the deadline. They were going to try and do whatever it took to take the next step.
I interpreted the mess. I experienced that differently, Doug.
Well, I'm the eternal optimist, so I'm hoping that they'll not give up the ghost either. But that was a weird game last night. So they should have been behind like 2-0 after the first period. I'm looking at the score. There's nothing. I guess it was a couple of callbacks, but they couldn't take advantage of it. So anyway, yes, and the Rangers, well, 5 in a row. They're looking good this year, sir.
They certainly are, Douglas. They certainly are. And I assume the other game you were talking about is that Leafs game, which, of course, because I was busy with the Rangers game, I paid precisely 0 attention to. I don't know how you feel about the team and the captain of that team since the Olympic. I don't know what you even want to call it. What's the best word for Team USA's boorish behavior following their Olympic gold medal win? Oh, yeah, we're going to have to invite the women's team to the White House as well. No, you know what? The women's team won first. Get them in there first. Oh, wait. The women didn't want to visit the White House. You see how that worked? Anyway, I don't know if you feel any differently about the Leafs after all of that or anything else. I mean, I couldn't help but think this morning when I heard the story about the pedestrian being hit on the goal line out by Guelph. I can't shake the reminder or the memory of when that happened here. Remember that woman that was struck by a GO train when she was crossing the tracks near Victoria and Lancaster? And it takes me back because you hear a story like that and you're thinking how awful this is, especially a woman with a stroller, and she was injured. The child was okay. But you're just wondering, oh my gosh, like the horrible nature of this. And then, well, to be honest, I mean, that's what we got to be here, right? You start breaking down the story and you get into the investigation and you realize that this was somebody that ignored the bells and the lights and the arms that come down over the road and decided they could beat the train or whatever. Like it was human error, a very bad error in judgment that caused it. I don't know what happened in Guelph, but typically, these trains are on tracks and you have to get yourself pretty darn close to them. It's awful stuff. That's what I just think of, though, when I heard the story this morning from just outside of Guelph, that it happened here, how many years ago now? And we talked about improving rail safety, and, the rail safety experts are saying you can only do so much. If somebody wants to cross and take their chances against the train, then they're going to cross and take their chances against the train. This is the Mike Farwell Show on 570 News Radio and Rogers TV. Couple of things, super local, and then one that has a connection, I think, locally, or I would hope it has a connection locally. I'll start with Russell's email to Mike at 570news.com under the subject line potholes. Russell writes, they said they need to know where the potholes are. Just fill a truck with asphalt and drive around. Seriously, if you crossed the Grand River Bridge on King Street, you cannot avoid the potholes. I'm surprised the bridge is still standing. And we've heard, of course, how bad Trussler Road is when it comes to potholes as well. Something else that you probably heard during All News Mornings yesterday, Justin Kohler, our reporter, was talking about the reinforcement, I guess, of the bylaws in Waterloo around nuisance complaints and nuisance issues. And all of this is ahead of, what are we now, about 3 weeks away from St. Paddy's Day? And we know that St. Paddy's Day brings the annual party in Waterloo. The city of Waterloo is not yet tipping its hand as to whether or not it will issue another injunction like it did last year that gave police a little more authority, because the court did issue this injunction allowing for the detention of people. Anyone attending, hosting, creating, sponsoring, or permitting a nuisance party, unsanctioned street gathering, or violating the city's nuisance bylaw in the University District could be arrested, detained, and held in custody by the police. That was yesterday's injunction last year's injunction granted by Ontario's Superior Court. And it did what exactly to the party? Very little. I have frankly arrived at my wit's end on this, and really I have come to the conclusion that I'll just do the whole ignorance is bliss idea. I know the party's going to happen. I know that there has not been a single tactic that we have employed to date that has done anything to curb the party. So have at it, kids. Go have your good time. And yes, we, as responsible taxpayers in the region of Waterloo, will pay for all of the things afterwards. We will pay for the hospital visits. We will pay for the cleanup. We will pay for any damages, et cetera, because that's what we do. But I honestly, you know what? Take away the fencing. Just let them have at it. Go ahead. Like, what are you going to do? Because there's not a thing we've done to date that has stopped this. I will say again, though, like the easiest solution is staring us right in the face. And I don't know why. Like, it makes me think of, in a different educational context, this inability for our two school boards to align their PA days for next year. And so there's an extra almost $300,000 in transportation costs. And the boards will tell you, well, yeah, but so many factors go into this and that. And some school boards do it this way and some. Stop it. Just like, you're making excuses. It's not hard. There are 10 PD days. Figure them out. Like, this blows my mind. Well, yeah, but we like to have exams here and days off. Stop it. Do it the same way. Like, I don't know how you can so easily just whiz away $300,000. Well, it's the cost of doing business. No, it's not. It's the cost of your unwillingness to agree on a calendar. It's really easy. Anyway, when it comes to the party in Waterloo, it's also really easy. Change reading week. Stop. Don't give me but then if you move reading week to St. Paddy's Day, it's too late in the term. Stop. I don't care. If you're going to have this unsanctioned, illegal party, then we're going to make reading week the week of March 17th. Simple. Because if we do that, then you're going to go away and you're not going to party on our streets. It's like, it is mind-numbingly easy to fix this. But for some reason, we won't do that. So if we won't do that, then I'm just going to sit here. I've already wasted 2 minutes on it, and I'm sorry for that. Ignorance is bliss. I don't care about the party anymore. But I do care that you won't take the easiest solution staring you right between the eyes and employ that. You change reading week to the week of St. Paddy's Day, this party goes away. I promise. I promise. It's a stroke of a pen. It's an administrative maneuver. Done. Party over. Just like our school boards they really can. If they wanted to, they would align their PA days. They just don't want to. Paul is with us on the phone this morning. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, Mike. Simple fix. Halfway down the street and on each end, put steel posts in the ground with massive speakers and blast polka music, and then borrow a water cannon truck from somebody. If you're on the street, you get wet. Done. It's over.
The water cannons are back out. Every year we get the water cannon idea, Paul.
Nobody's will come because I don't want to get wet and get thrown down the street by a water jet. They won't come back next year, guaranteed, Mike.
All right, Paul. Appreciate the call. I think they'll bring out their slip and slide if we do that. I'm telling you, change reading week, end the party. Save the cheerleader, save the world. It's not hard. Change reading week. Mike, Farwell's Force member number 37. Good morning.
As a Laurie undergrad alumnus, Mike.
Oh, you're one of those, eh, Michael?
Yes, I am. But I'm not business. I have a degree in science, believe it or not. But the issue is, I think it's very simple. Declare reading week or schedule exams and midterms for all that week.
I don't think the exams would work. Reading week is the answer, Mike, because what happens on reading week? You go home.
You go home.
Yep.
You don't stick around.
Exactly. That's the answer.
And they give you assignments, right, over reading week. Back in my day, but maybe they don't do that anymore, Mike, to make people study and stuff like that. There are so many simple solutions to this, Mike. They say every year they come out with we're going to expel you, right? Well, do you ever follow through on it?
No, I don't think they ever say that, actually. I don't know if they do tell us that there are academic sanctions that can be applied, but I don't know what happens.
Yeah, how many have you heard, Mike, that have actually been done?
I get you, Mike.
They're not in Fred Nichols, Dean of Students' office like they used to be. It's Mike, if you want something be screwed up, get government to do it.
There you go. Fair point. Again, I offer this to you. Well, I'm offering it to the schools. So the fact that the schools won't do this makes me believe that the schools don't want the party to end. And that's fine, because I don't care about your damn party anymore. But if you want the party to end, just change reading week. It is truly that simple. The less local issue on my mind this morning, but there is a context or a local connection I want to make to it. I learned yesterday while listening to the radio driving to Guelph for the Storm Rangers game that Giorgio Mammoliti passed away at the age of 64, which is far too young. And you're wondering, who the heck is Giorgio Mammoliti? Well, he was a city councillor in Toronto, also a former Ontario NDP MPP. And Giorgio Mammoliti happened to be a councillor in the city of Toronto when I was a young reporter covering Toronto Council. And what I found so interesting is Giorgio was a character. He was a very colorful character in local politics in Toronto back in and around the year 2000. And I've shared the story with you before, and I heard the same story shared as a memory of Giorgio Mammoliti from another fellow councillor in remembering and reflecting on the life of Giorgio Mammoliti yesterday. And that story was when Giorgio was protesting the opening of the nude beach at Hanlon's Point out on Center Island in Toronto. And Giorgio began to undress in council chambers. He had his shirt off saying, well, now, people are going to be walking around town naked. And it made the evening news. And there he was, hairy chest and all over the evening news. And that's the kind of character that he was. And from some of the other stories that I heard yesterday, people reminiscing, Giorgio Mammoliti would say often outrageous, like right up to the line, even sometimes over the line things, just to grab some attention and steal the narrative for a day. And it just kind of, as somebody that works in this business, makes me miss that kind of colorful character in politics, local or otherwise. The closest thing I could think of around here was the late, great Frank Montero from Cambridge. Frank and I had some doozies on this show, and I loved every one of them, and I think he did too. Can we get a little more Frank Montero? I think Adam Cooper in Cambridge might have a chance at that, but Adam takes himself too seriously, which is not I don't mean that as an insult, but like Adam is often contrary, but he believes passionately in what he believes, and I respect him for that. Frank sometimes I think would be outrageous for the sake of being outrageous. And I wouldn't mind a little that. Let's just liven up local politics like Giorgio Mammoliti did in Toronto. Speaking of local, I think a councillor from Woolwich Township wants to liven things up. He doesn't like the raise that council is going to get. We'll talk about it next on the Mike Farwell Show. 570 News Radio and Rogers TV.
This is where today's topics turn into today's talking points. It's local and it's Democratic radio at its finest. This is the Mike Farwell Show on 570 News Radio.
The recommendation was, in considering the council remuneration report, to approve an annual increase to the base remuneration for the mayor of $9,076. for a total of $47,808, and to approve an increase of $3,534 to the base remuneration of councillors for a total of $26,255.
Underpaying council, it's not fiscally responsible, like I've heard others mention. When compensation is set too low, the cost doesn't just disappear. It shifts into other places. It shifts into overextension of councillors, burnout, potentially turnover, and reduced capacity at the council table. Decisions will slow, files will stretch out, and institutional knowledge will be lost.
Councillor Cadeau.
In favor.
Councillor Schwint.
In favor.
Mayor Shantz.
In favor.
Councillor Burgess.
Opposed.
Councillor Grant.
In favor.
Councillor Bryant.
Opposed.
And Mayor Shantz, that vote carries with 4 votes in favor and 2 votes against.
The Mike Farwell Show continues
on 570 News Radio.
I like to call that Woolwich Township Council in 60 seconds, the nutshell of one of the decisions made by Township Council at their meeting this week. Yes, beginning in the next term, there will be increased remuneration for both councillors and the mayor in Woolwich Township. One of the councillors in Woolwich, Evan Burgess, who is Ward 1's councillor, joins me in studio this morning to talk about it. Good morning, Evan.
Good morning, Mike. Thanks for having me on the show.
Always a pleasure. Before we get into the decision made, and you, I should point out, were one of the 2 councillors who voted against the motion to increase the salary. I see baked goods. So can we start there? Do you mind?
Of course. I brought you and your team here this morning some Danishes and butter tarts from one of the local great businesses here in Woolwich. So it's from Stone Crock Bakery, right downtown there. So I hope you and your team enjoy it. And if you're ever in town, that you guys can stop in for some goodies and coffee.
I know the Stone Crock very well in downtown St. Jay, and I have been on many an occasion in the past. So thank you very much for that. Really appreciate it. You're always celebrating local when you come in here, so that's awesome. And those butter tarts don't have raisins, right?
No.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to have the butter tarts. I'll share the Danishes with the staff.
Sounds good. Yeah,
Thank you for that.
Give you a culinary tour of Woolwich, kitchen cutting, Stone Crocks.
Absolutely.
Next time.
I can't wait. I'll invite you back weekly if this is the case.
Sounds good. But yeah, Mike, if you'll just let me just say something before we begin here. If you remember last time when you had me on the show, we were discussing bike lanes in downtown Elmira. So the region was hoping to put a bike lane right on our main street, Arthur Street is called, and that was going to reduce the width of the road, remove parking, and just create a lot of congestions. And the residents and businesses were against this. And after you had me on the show and got public awareness, the region actually backed down, and that right now it's looking like that will be removed, and we'll keep the existing footprint of the road. So I owe you a debt of gratitude for raising that awareness and getting that accomplished.
Well, you were a part of the conversation. We always appreciate that. And we like to talk about things on this show, Evan, that make sense. Common sense is one of our, I think, foundational elements. So we like to call that the Farwell Show bump. It's not like the bicycles won't have other places to be. There are parallel roads they can ride on, much less busy than Arthur Street. And I'm glad that the region saw the light on that one. So thanks for letting Farwell's force and everyone else listening know that we had a little bit of an impact on that one. So let's talk about the decision this week to increase salaries for councillors and the mayor in Woolwich Township. You voted against it. Why?
Yeah, there's a couple reasons why, but I guess I'll touch on the 2 main reasons. The first one being, if you've been following Woolwich's budget, we've had 4 years with this council where we've created a budget, and each year has been between 7 and 10%. This, in my opinion, is unacceptable. It's unsustainable. It's not what residents are wanting. So after all this, it's not the time to pat ourselves on the back and say, hey, we did a good job. Let's raise our salary 15% for the councillors and approximately 23% for the mayor. This is a time we need to show fiscal restraint. If anything, we should be freezing our salaries in this kind of scenario. We got to show that we're supporting the residents and their tax dollars. And the second reason I'll point out is, as was said in the council meeting, often they say you need to have a good salary to recruit candidates. As a councillor, you have a full-time job, and that's where you're getting your money and your salary. You should not be joining this if that's your goal. You join as a councillor because you love your community, You want to support it. You want to shape its future. You want to help residents. Whether I'm getting paid $20,000 or $25,000, that's not going to affect how I act, whether I want this role or not. And I just don't think this is the right time to be looking at these increases with the budgets we've had.
So how do you balance that? I mean, you decided to run for council at the salary currently. Do you not think that a higher salary will attract a better quality candidate?
For the mayor position, I could see that argument. They have to quit their full-time job. So if you want to find a good candidate, that's reasonable. Someone has to give up their salary to come to this. Whereas for a councillor, you should be doing it not for the money, but for your love for the community. So what, again, is a couple $1,000s going to affect people? That's not my viewpoint there. And again, it's not the time when we're talking 10% tax increases. We need to put our money towards the assets and the services that residents want, not lining our pockets.
How did the increases come about?
Yeah, so staff came, this actually started 2 weeks ago. So it was 2 council meetings ago. Staff came to council with a report. They grabbed 12 local municipalities with similar size populations, and they took the median of all 12 of those municipalities to set what our salary remuneration should be. And that came out, as you said, to 15% and 23%. So in that council meeting, it was actually defeated the first time we talked about it. It was a 3-3 tie, and that is a defeat. And then unbeknownst to me, at our last, fast forward 2 weeks, our last meeting, some councillors brought it back up, and then it was a 4-2 to increase the salaries. And with me and Councillor Bryant voting against it still.
That's really interesting. Any idea what changed in the 2 weeks from when it was first tabled and defeated to this week?
I highly doubt residents reached out and were like, hey, you should give yourself a big increase. So I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine, but I'm assuming there was some councillors that talked behind the scenes, but I was not privy to that conversation.
This increase, Evan, would apply to the next term of council, correct? So it's not as though you are immediately receiving this increase.
That is correct. That's how staff like to do it, so you're not voting a salary for yourself. So this will, take effect come November when the new council is elected. But at the same time, as I said, when we're talking 10% increases, it's not the time. We need to get our budget under control before we consider this. And again, most people on council, I assume, will be rerunning. I'm not going to share their personal thoughts, but a lot of them, it will be affecting them if they are reelected.
Do you intend to run again?
I hope so. I like serving this community and would like to continue doing that.
Wilmot Township did something similar that you are wishing that Woolwich had done here, Evan, and that is defer their increases for another year. But it was noted when they did that eventually this will likely catch up to them and there will be a larger catch up down the road. So if the vote had failed, that 3-3 tie, and it had not happened this year, would you worry that some point down the road, council is going to be paying bigger increases to kind of catch up at some point?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I would disagree, though. What maybe they don't realize is it's not just this 15% bonus that we're getting. We do get a year-over-year COLA adjustment, a cost of living adjustment. So right now, on top of that 15, we're actually getting a 3% increase every year. So it's not that our salary is staying stagnant. We are increasing it. So just because we're missing it this 1 year does not mean we're going to be off on our salary. And again, if you compare us apples to Wilmot or to Wellesley specifically that are local, we are actually paid higher than them. So this 12 municipalities was grabbing from Niagara area, Barrie area, down near Windsor. So if you compare directly to where we are, we're not necessarily paid below what should be paid.
This is one of the challenges I have when these increases come around, Evan, just to be honest. I talked about this when Waterloo voted in favor of an increase as well, and we're always looking at these comparators from other municipalities. But for me, then, it just becomes a ladder because you bring in Niagara and Barrie and these other areas for comparison and say, okay, this is where Woolwich should be. Well, now the next time that Barrie and Niagara are looking for an increase, well, now this is what Woolwich is doing. So they go up, and then it continually climbs that ladder.
Yeah, for sure. You see that with staff salaries and with councillor salaries. It's just you keep raising each other and then you each want your same increase. And it doesn't take into account other factors like where are reserves at? What is our budget like? Those are other things. If If some other municipality has great reserves, their increases are low, well, maybe they deserve or have the money to be able to pay a higher salary. But we're not in that position at this point, so we should not be looking at those increases.
So you mentioned one of your key concerns in this, Evan, is that the tax increases in the township over the past number of years, 7 to 10%. We know that there was a really large starting number with some significant challenges in Woolwich this year. How do you feel about where the township is at financially?
Yeah, that's a big question there, Mike. We definitely have to get our reserves up. Year over year, these budgets have been high, and there's been money going to salaries and other things that some of us councillors have been trying to cut back on. If you talk about the cost of bringing in new staff, this council alone has increased our full-time staff 10%, over 10%. So that is a large cost. One of our residents used the term robbing Peter to pay Paul, that classic expression, because we put a lot of our money that should be going towards reserves and roads, and it's been going to higher benefits, higher staff salaries. And that's one of the big concerns that I've been hearing from residents.
Why did you decide to speak up on this council remuneration issue?
Again, I think it's a time where we can show, well, if we're trying to say we need 10% to get our budget in order, it's a time for us to say, hey, we're tightening our belt. We're showing our own responsibility. It's not about what I can do for myself. It's about what I can do for the residents. I want to put the money, the taxpayer money, back in their pockets, whether that's lowering the tax increase, whether that's fixing our roads, whether that's the assets and services that can serve them.
I suppose it's also possible that somebody following a couple of weeks ago thought this got voted down and all of a sudden it was back, and they may not have even known this just happened this week.
Exactly.
Yeah. Evan, not only do I appreciate the baked goods from Stone Crock, thank you for that, but thanks for raising this issue and making time for the show this morning.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Evan Burgess is the Ward 1 councillor in Woolwich Township. He's going to get a 15% increase if he is successful in the next election. What do you think about what we pay our municipal councillors in this region? We'll take calls after this on the Mike Farwell Show, 570 News Radio and Rogers TV.
As a councillor, you have a full-time job, and that's where you're getting your money and your salary. You should not be joining this if that's your goal. You join as a councillor because you love your community. You want to support it. You want to shape its future. You want to help residents. Whether I'm getting paid $20,000 or $25,000, that's not going to affect how I act, whether I want this role or not. I just don't think this is the right time to be looking at these increases with the budgets we've had.
That is Ward 1 councillor in Woolwich Township, Evan Burgess, who joins us in studio this morning to talk about the vote at Woolwich Township Council just this week that will increase council salaries beginning in the next term. The mayor's salary will go up about $9,000 or 23% to around $47,000 annually. And councillors will receive about 15% more to just over $26,000 when the next term of council begins. So that's important to remember in this. It's not as though anybody is voting themselves a raise today that takes effect tomorrow. They will have to stand for re-election and then be successful in being re-elected in order to collect that increase. That said, we know how much an advantage it is to be an incumbent. If you already have won the seat, it is easier to win it again and again and again. And I struggle with these conversations, I do, because it's got to be tough to be a forward-facing public official whose salary is public and debated by the public. In fairness to us, the public, we are the ones who are paying that salary. And you'll remember that I was pretty strongly against the raises that MPPs, provincial members of parliament, got late last year or sometime last year, because it was a significant increase. And I understand their salaries had been frozen for a very long time, but it was a big, huge, massive catch-up plus pension benefits. And I thought, geez, you were already making like $115,000 a year. And I know that's not, earth-shattering money, but it's it's considerably more than your average Ontarian if you look at median incomes in this province. So I thought, boy, you need to, feather that nest even more. On top of 114,000 now, MPPs are up around 150K. From that, it says 155. Is that where it lands? Either way, it was a significant increase. I was very much opposed to it, particularly in these times. And one of you said, listen, Farwell, if you don't want monkeys, you got to pay more than peanuts. I'm like, okay, I get it. I can see both sides of this. Absolutely. That issue was brought up at Woolwich Council when they discussed it this week. If you're not paying well enough, you risk burnout, you risk losing that institutional knowledge that's so important, the experience around the horseshoe. You're not going to attract the best candidates, et cetera, et cetera. And in fairness, we're talking about $3,000 per councillor here, of which there are 5. We're talking about $9,000 for the mayor. So all in, what are we talking about? $24,000, right? Give or take. Let's call it $25,000 for argument's sake in the township's entire budget. That's not a ton of money. But I am on Evan's side, the argument that he brings forward today. When you are asking residents for 7 to 10% on average by way of tax increases, is this the time to be saying, hey, by the way, while we're asking you for 7 to 10% more, we're taking 15 to 23% more for our own salaries? The optics are not good right now, quite simply. And frankly, if anybody is doing it for the money municipally, they're probably doing it for the wrong reasons. That's my 2 cents, but I love hearing from you on this. 519-570-2545, star 570, and 1-800-570-5715. John, good morning.
Morning, Mike. It's Hespler Johnny.
Hespler Johnny, good morning.
I've been saying what Councillor Aaron's been saying for a long time. I believe these were intended to be part-time jobs. I believe they still are part-time jobs and should be paid accordingly. If you're using this as your number one source of income, then it twists your judgment, because all it becomes is I have to keep my job and I need to get reelected. And I think it's affecting our thought processes, and we need to pay these people a part-time wage. And I applaud this gentleman for coming forward.
Thanks, John. I appreciate the call. And, it's interesting that you say that, because we had Waterloo councillor for Ward 2, Royce Bodley, on this week talking about his decision to not seek re-election. 2 terms. He's decided to step away from the role. And he kind of joked that now I'm looking for a job. So I guess Royce didn't have that other job, if you will. But also in Waterloo, the job as a quote-unquote part-time councillor, and I know they put in longer hours. I do, it's no 20-hour-a-week job. I promise you that. So in fairness, it should probably be compensated more. And it's not like it's a, part-time job at Tim Hortons. It's important work that needs to be done here. But anyway, it's about $60,000. I mean, that's a hell of a part-time job, right? And by the way, Ward 5's Jen Vasic in Waterloo has also decided to not run again. Steve sends me an email to Mike at 570news.com, says, we should vote Evan for mayor and vote out Sandy Shantz. I'm not sure Mayor Shantz is running again, Steve, but we'll find out. Back to the phones. Abby, good morning.
Hi there. I'm a politics student, actually, out at Laurier, so this is what I want to do, right? And, you got to think about, yes, they're making more money and such, and we up it. If they want to be able to put all of them into it, if they want to be able to express their opinions, they can't be worried about their money. If they want to keep their ideals, like you said, if they want to be doing it for the right reasons, they have to be able to not be worried about the money that they're making.
So it should be significant enough money that you're not worried about your budget at home. Is that what you mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. I don't know about how much the raises are, but I mean, if we want them to be able to put everything into it and do it for the right reasons, we have to be sure that they don't have to worry about everything.
Abby, I think that's a great point. Love to hear from one of our up-and-coming, perhaps would-be politicians studying politics at one of our local post-secondary institutions. The raises for councillors In Woolwich, about $3,000 per year. The raise for the mayor, about $9,000. It will take effect in the next term. We vote this October. It's an election year in the region. This is the Mike Farwell Show, 570 News Radio and Rogers TV.
This is where today's topics turn into today's talking points. It's local and it's Democratic radio at its finest. This is the Mike Farwell Show on 570 News Radio.
Conservation Ontario is the overarching body for all of the conservation authorities that are more local in context. And one of the things that they put forward is that the scale of the proposed regional consolidation is really too large to preserve successful watershed management in Ontario. And this is especially important to the region of Waterloo. You know how important it is that we protect our watershed integrity here because we're 80% groundwater and 20% reliant on the Grand River for our drinking water supply. There are 49 other communities that also rely on the Grand River for drinking water. And so it's really important that we have some entity that understands the local context and can have a high engagement with their local municipalities in the stewardship of the watershed.
The Mike Farwell Show continues
on 570 News Radio.
That is one of two things I learned this week. That was the voice of Julie Wright, Ward 7 councillor in the city of Waterloo, at this week's Waterloo Council meeting, during which a motion brought forward by Waterloo Mayor Dorothy McCabe was unanimously supported by her council colleagues. That motion requested that municipalities be allowed the opportunity to review the full financial reserves and operational impacts that could affect local control and management of the floodplain areas, watersheds, and natural resources which conservation authorities were established to manage. As you know, the province is talking about consolidating these conservation authorities into larger entities, but fewer of them. So you heard in that clip, 49 other areas draw on the Grand River as a water supply. I did not know that. One of the other things I learned this week is that conservation authorities here in Ontario are the second largest landowners in this province. Let's learn a little bit more as we welcome Julie Wright, that aforementioned Ward 7 councillor, to the show. Julie is also the national director at Our Living Waters. Julie, it's nice to have your time on the show. Thank you very much and good morning.
Thanks for having me back, and what a beautiful sunny morning it is.
Isn't it nice? Like, even though it's cold this morning, I had to bundle up a little extra, but the sun is a game changer.
It is. I think we all need more sun.
I couldn't agree more. I guess, sadly, if we continue the metaphor, it's not exactly a sunny day in the province when we look at the consolidation of these conservation authorities. But if we could start specifically to the context here in the region, Julie, and I know you alluded to that in that little piece of audio we just heard, but how would this consolidation of conservation authorities particularly impact us here in the region of Waterloo?
I think the most important thing for us to keep an eye on is right sizing the approach of consolidation. I really think that there's a strong need for modernization and improvement of standards across the conservation authorities. They've already begun engaging in that work. Some of them are much further down the road than others. But it's the local context that is so incredibly important. The reason why we have conservation authorities is they emerged from a local context. Like, you go back to the 1930s and the 1940s when there's a huge amount of erosion, continuous flooding, a lot of deforestation for industry. In our local area, it was the Grand Valley Board of Trade that came to. These are the business people in the community, the industry people in the community who came together and said, "This is too high risk. We need to manage this better." And that's what we're actually facing again today. things are too high risk. We need to manage it better. And the way that we do that is from the ground up. It's local context that helps us make those decisions effectively.
What are the risks we currently face? What is the high-risk area here?
I think the highest aspect of this risk is really understanding the growth demands. And that's something that, I've talked about fragmentation before, where it's, things are spread out across a whole number of different silos, and we need to have a line of sight on what the total picture looks like. And in our context, our watershed is our total picture. The watershed is what gives us the ability to do so many things, from our where we develop our communities, what kinds of businesses and industries we can support, and what is the integrity of the ecosystem that is holding all of that together and in a way that is healthy and sustainable for us going forward. Without that big picture, we're going to keep running into the situation that we're in today, where we're putting a full stop and saying, hey, we can't do this right now because we don't have the capacity. We don't want to be in that situation. And careful planning is what gets us out of these sorts of situations. And that's what was happening in the 1930s and 1940s here regionally.
Are we still seeing the results of that careful planning in the region today through our Grand River Conservation Authority?
Well, I think conservation authorities have been kind of put into a little bit of a corner. They had much broader responsibilities, and those have been diminished. They also have been underfunded for years. And so right now we think of our conservation authorities as being, the intelligence groups that tell us about flood hazard. And they've been extremely effective at that. I mean, I talked about the 1930s and 40s about needing to kind of bring these different priorities together to be more sustainable. Well, there was also an event that many people in our community probably still remember, Hurricane Hazel in the 1950s, which caused massive flooding. And that's one reason why we turn to our conservation authorities for flood risk management. It's because they learned a lot through that process, and we have been the envy of the world. Anybody who studies flood risk and hazards, Ontario's Conservation Authority system has been fantastic at that. What we've seen erode over time is that influence over land use decision making. And, I understand that this government really wants to open up opportunities for development. They want to look at where the excess or surplus lands are, but we need to do that carefully with the context considered. Otherwise, we won't be able to support the population and the growth that we want to see in the province.
You mentioned at the outset, Julie, that you can understand the need for or desire for modernization here, and I think we can all kind of get behind that. I think we're numbering some 36 conservation authorities that would be consolidated into 7 or something like that. But with ours here, if we look at the Grand River Conservation Authority and what it would be newly consolidated under this Lake Erie Conservation Authority, it would be a massive tract of land and all of the water within it. Is the concern here then that you have sort of a provincial or a much higher level oversight that doesn't have the ability to see what's happening on the ground, so to speak?
That's exactly the problem. I mean, I think in other parts of the province, the problem is probably more severe than what we would experience with the Lake Erie consolidation. Not all conservation authorities are resourced the same way. You can think of the Toronto Region Conservation Authority as being extremely robust. It is big, fully staffed, can do amazing things. And then you've got some very, very small conservation authorities, especially as you go down towards the tip of southern Ontario. And when I was working in flood risk and resilience, that was my previous role before Our Living Waters, I was running the Flood Smart Canada website, and people would call wondering, how do I find out what my flood risk is, and say Chatham, Kent. And in the Waterloo region, you can just type in your address and it will show you a floodplain map and you can see what your risk is. Other conservation authorities don't have that. And so, that's one of the the really great opportunities about investing in modernization of conservation authorities is you might get that level of service to all of the conservation authorities. You might be able to get really amazing digital permitting systems spread out across all of the conservation authorities. And those sorts of improvements and accessibility in the tools would be a great service to the public, and especially to our developers. I mean, you spend so much time kind of navigating the rules and regulations, and if you are at the border of, where 2 or 3 different conservation authorities come together, and there's an area around Hamilton where that's the case, then you're navigating maybe 3 conservation authorities plus the municipalities, and that's a lot of bureaucracy to manage. We can do better on that. Surely we can do better on that.
You and your council colleagues, as I mentioned at the outset, have unanimously supported the motion brought forward by Mayor McCabe, requesting the opportunity to engage with the province on these plans to consolidate our conservation authorities. How optimistic are you, Julie, that this will, bring meaningful engagement and, maybe lead to a better outcome here?
Yeah, that's an interesting. It's an interesting opportunity for us because I think a couple of ministers of environment ago, like if I think back to Minister Piccini, he was really engaged with stakeholders, the different conservation authorities and the municipalities to better understand what was going on. Not every minister has the same set of objectives. So at this point in time, I'm a little bit skeptical. The devil is in the details on this one. It's not so much, the fact of amalgamation. It's how we do it that matters. Like just to be really frank, the Huron Superior amalgamation does not make sense because water is local. Water is geographic in context. And if you make the geography too big, you lose the context. You lose the opportunity to do things that are smart and efficient and sustainable for your community.
So glad we could get your perspective on the show, Julie. Thank you very much for making time this morning.
Thanks again for having me.
A pleasure. Take good care. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Julie Wright is the councillor for Ward 7 in Waterloo. She's also the national director of Our Living Waters. A couple of things here. First of all, you know how I feel about amalgamation, right? I am all for it. Like, the sooner you bring it on, the better, at least from where I'm sitting. And that, I say, in the political sense. I've been saying that for the almost 9 years I've been on this show. Since day one, back in June of 2017, I reminded you, or I began by telling you that I am pro-regional amalgamation. I would like one government to rule us all. Thank you very much. So, to extend that, am I opposed necessarily to the idea of taking 36 entities and consolidating them into 7? I mean, if we're finding the efficiencies that I think I like so much, by all means, let's get on with the game here and do it. However, when you consider what we're talking about in this context, our conservation authorities, and as you heard Julie say a number of times in that conversation, water is local. And then can we just add to that what we're dealing with when it comes to water in this community right now? I got to tell you, it scares the bejeepers out of me. I was talking to a farmer yesterday. Just yesterday, I returned some phone calls on my way to Guelph, and one of them was from a farmer in Wilmot Township. And let me tell you the stories he was telling me about what he has seen with his very own eyes when it comes to the water issues in the township right now, or more broadly, the region. I am very likely to take the word of the person working the land, on the land every day. Farmers see a whole lot of things that we do not see, and they've got their own little ecosystem going on, and I'm grateful to be privy to parts of that so I can learn these things about what they're seeing on that land today. So given where we're at with water in this community right now, this idea, as much as I favor consolidation, efficiency, amalgamation, I'm not so sure about this one, because we right now have still, for about 3 months, had a pause on development. There's no indication that freeze will be lifted anytime soon. So it's going to continue dragging on. And that has raised the question or brought forward the conversation about whether or not we even continue on this path towards 1 million people. That's the conversation happening locally. Do you think anybody right now, anybody at the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing at Queen's Park gives a tinker's darn, is even aware of it more than the memo that passed their desk, right? Because this government, and I get it, we're in a housing crisis. We want to build housing, yada, yada, yada. We want to have a land assembly for new industry in Wilmot and part of the region of Waterloo, of course. We want this, we want that, we want the next thing. I don't know how much they care other than what they've seen on a piece of paper. Okay, they shrug their shoulders and they move on. If we don't have the water here today, I don't know. Sometimes, I'm old enough to remember times where you'd hear about these environmentalists and these quote-unquote tree huggers, and they're calling for this and they're calling for that, and you think, it's just noise. It's just noise. Well, here we are with a pretty severe water problem today. Whether that was mismanagement or not, we've got a water problem today. And now we're thinking it might be a good idea to consolidate our conservation authorities and the people who watch the water at the local level. I ain't so sure, but I'm always interested in hearing from you. So tell me how sure or unsure you are about this idea of consolidating conservation authorities and really removing some of the local governance of our water. We'll take calls after this on the Mike Farwell Show. This is 570 News Radio and Rogers TV.
The devil is in the details on this one. It's not so much the fact of amalgamation, it's how we do it that matters. Just to be really frank, the Huron-Superior amalgamation does not make sense because water is local, water is geographic in context, and if you make the geography too big, you lose the context. You lose the opportunity to do things that are smart and efficient and sustainable for your community.
Julie Wright is the Ward 7 councillor in the city of Waterloo and the national director of Our Living Waters. Waterloo Council unanimously endorsed this week a motion brought forward by Mayor Dorothy McCabe requesting the opportunity for municipalities to engage with our ministerial partners at Queen's Park on these plans to consolidate conservation authorities. We've got 36 such authorities in the province right now. Could we do with fewer? And then what does that look like? And just given where we are at with water in this community today, I am a little leery on that front, even though, as a rule, I tend to support amalgamation and the efficiencies or the removal of redundancies that comes with it. But in this case, given where we're at with water right now, just here in the region of Waterloo, this makes me a little nervous, is all I would say about that. And look, I don't know about you, but sometimes I just sit around and contemplate the end of this planet upon which we exist. And I know that's a long way away. But eventually, will we not just populate ourselves to death and deplete this planet of all of its resources? Maybe those generations way down the road will figure out new ways to survive on the planet that we have stripped bare of so many resources, water and land to grow food and all of these different things. I don't know. But I think about that from time to time. And this might be one of those steps in that direction, because we are hell-bent on 1 million people here, even though right now we neither have the water nor the housing to support it, among other things, right? We saw the great strain that so many parts of our infrastructure were put under when we had that influx of foreign students. Related to this, and I'll go back to what I said about, as a rule, I'm pro-amalgamation. Regionally here, with 2 layers of local government, I've long been opposed to it. We're not the only community that operates this way. But let me tell you about a fellow by the name of Bob Gale. He is the chair of Niagara Region, so he's our Karen Redmond, if you will. And he wrote a letter the other week to the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, saying that he is deeply contemplating the possibility of amalgamating the 12 municipalities in Niagara region to a 1 or 4 city model. Go for one, Chair Gale. Go for one. Doug Ford, in response, says it has to be from Niagara by Niagara. He won't impose anything top-down. Please, Premier Ford, can you impose something top-down? Because we've tried doing something by Waterloo, for Waterloo, and it keeps getting shot down again and again. Can we please just get rid of one layer of local government? I think Waterloo region, 3 cities, 4 townships can be one community, one layer of government. I think that's possible and effective, but maybe I'm alone in that. An update from the 570 News Center, and then it is Thursday, and that means right after this update, Gary Chalk is here with Living Retired on the Mike Farwell Show, 570 News Radio and Rogers TV.
Hookah chaka, hookah, hookah, hookah chaka, hookah, hookah, hookah chaka, hookah, hookah, hookah chaka, hookah, hookah. I can't stop this feeling deep inside of me. Girl, you just don't realize what you do to me. When you hold me in your arms so tight, you let me know everything's alright. I'm hooked on a feeling.
It is the music that greets Gary Chalk each and every Thursday morning at this time. Gary, as you know, is the humor columnist who writes Living Retired, and each and every Thursday he brings that to life right here on our show. Please go to livingretired.press and sign up to have the column delivered directly to your inbox every week. You can even get in touch with Gary and invite him to speak at your service club or your corporate event, because he brings his own very unique style of addressing a crowd like he does to our dozens and dozens of listeners here every Thursday morning. Mr. Chalk, a good Thursday morning to you.
Oh, good morning to you. And speaking of your listeners and presentations and stuff, I'm doing a retirement party up in your area coming up soon.
Very nice.
That'll be fun.
Absolutely. You can teach them what they have to look forward to.
Yeah, I'll get them to complain about the fact they worked for 35 years and the Bob Newhart line, he got a $25 watch for his retirement.
Absolutely.
Oh, my gosh. We had a little water leak in the basement the other day. That wasn't good. So today, because I was cleaning up, it's a good thing it's radio. I'm, Mike, wearing here a pair of those dorky black plastic knee pads.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I like that word dorky. But
it's a very good word.
It is. It's a good one, and I never get to use it very often. But at any rate, these pads, they're all the same size. One size fits all. Only thing is, I think as we get older, they should be a little thicker, because when you're down, I think I need flubber so I can get back up.
I like that. I remember it well. It'll pop you right back up all by itself.
That's right.
Yeah.
And, for people like me and all the others living retired, we have to lift our tired, stiff, achy bodies up from the lazy boy. And instead of being frustrated what we have with watching all the figure skatings bow for 20 minutes every direction after they finish their skate, we can get back to what we really are frustrated about. That's technology.
Don't you miss the good old days when things were simpler?
Oh, I'm telling you, I used to like it with one phone in the house attached on the wall, and I had to sit in the closet in the living room because when I wanted to talk to a girl, I didn't want anybody to know.
Oh, yes, we've all been there.
That's right. So here's some of the latest technology, Mike. Are you sitting down?
Always, Gary. I don't stand up at this job.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Here's the latest thing that I've got. They call it talking toilet paper.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
Talking toilet paper. It's what it is it's a voice-activated toilet paper dispenser that, and here's the benefit we all need, it allows us to control how much the roll is in the toilet from anywhere we are in the house through our phones.
So we can always check if we need to buy more toilet paper?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's a burning question.
Oh, sure it is.
Of course. Now, because it's frustrating if you run out and you don't want to be caught. So you can even have it set out automatically that it will reorder when your supply of toilet paper gets low. It works with Amazon Alexa, Google Home. You don't even have to get off your throne, Mike.
You imagine just ordering it right from there, Gary.
That's right.
Yeah.
20 minutes are free.
Okay.
Now, here's another. Do you enjoy eating a stack of pancakes?
I certainly do.
Okay, Sunday morning tradition, make up the pancakes standing over a frying pan. But now they have what they call an automatic pancake printer. They think of everything. This is how it works. You choose your pancake design from, of course, an app, and then you wait for this little printer thing to print out a pancake.
Gary,
and when they're done, you just serve them.
No, Gary, I live in the home of the Elmira Maple Syrup Festival. I am not printing a pancake. No.
Oh, I'm telling you. But it's got to be healthier because the calorie count of paper has to be lower than real pancakes.
That's a very good point.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I tend to agree with you when it comes to maple syrup, though. Anyways, here's another one. Do you purchase fresh flowers for your wife?
Not nearly often enough. I love you, honey.
I knew that was putting you on the spot because you're talking to an audience. Hey, I purchased them because I need to apologize. And I need to apologize. So what I do is I buy, Jan, about every week, some fresh flowers. I'm in a lot of trouble.
It's like a standing order at the florist for you.
That's right. I just drive. Oh, it's you again. So here's the tech product designed for living retired men. It's a machine that a click of a button, you freeze your flowers. And it may sound gimmicky, but it's. I'm going to look at it as this. It's an app. Of course, it has to be an app. And it's becoming increasing popular because what it does, it prolongs the freshness of your flowers. Makes your house smell like a greenhouse. And I know, Mike, you're frugal, so this way you purchase one bouquet of roses for your wife for Valentine's Day, say there a while ago. You use this app, you zap that vase of flowers, they're frozen, you've got every celebration covered for the entire year.
I like where you're going with this because I'm not frugal. I appreciate you saying so. I'm cheap, 100%. I'm cheap. So that means we could just leave the flowers there and they're like it's like cryogenics, like where you go into the because I'm going to get frozen too. Maybe we could do living retired 100 years from now when they thaw us, Gary.
Boy, now there's a thought that you just lost listeners, I think. Or here's another one. Now this is genius. A pair of vacuum shoes. You put on the vacuum shoes, and away you go. Everywhere you walk, you're vacuuming.
I kind of like this, Gary.
Yeah. So it gives a whole new meaning to inviting your friends over for dinner and telling them to keep their shoes on.
Everybody bring their vacuum shoes to dinner tonight. You're going to help us clean the house.
That's right. As long as, you make it out to the laundry area and back, house is cleaned.
Perfect.
And when you serve dinner for them in their vacuum shoes, why not allow them to eat with a happy fork? Now, happy fork, it's nothing to do with an app, so I don't know whether it'll be successful or not. But it's a vibrating fork, which means when your friends are at the dinner table, they're trying to get that piece of lasagna on their fork. It takes a lot of time and effort because the darn fork is vibrating. You can't get at it. So as a result, it takes a long time to eat dinner. So could say, I guess, when it comes to eating, the happy fork takes the cake.
I guess you could.
You could. Things that vibrate, how about a vibrating chef's knife? Instead of cutting the Christmas turkey and also cutting your fingers all at the same time, you get this now chef knife that vibrates, takes minimal effort. You place this vibrating chef knife on the turkey breast, and before you know it, the knife has vibrated its way right through the meat. So, you don't cut yourself. You don't go and present the platter of cut turkey to your guests while you have a tourniquet wrapped around your finger. It's called a vibrating chef's knife.
Of all the things I thought that people would want to vibrate, forks and chef's knives are not the top of my list, Gary.
It doesn't come around.
No.
Of course, everything these days is AI. And here's a AI-powered hand mirror. You can stand it. Now, some people may like this, Mike. I don't. You stand at your bathroom vanity when you get up in the morning, and you hold this AI-generated mirror in front of you, and it takes instantly your temperature, completes an echocardiogram, it digitally measures your blood pressure, and it records your blood oxygen levels just by looking into a mirror.
How does it do all of this?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know how any of this stuff works. It just works.
Oh, of course it does.
Yeah, and I would look at that thing and see all those outcomes and numbers and say, Gary, it's not going to be a good day. You better go back to bed.
Oh, I like that idea. I could get, encouragement to do that.
That's right. And the final technology product for those of us living retired, Mike, I knew eventually they would come up with it. It's called airbag jeans. Now, you've heard of airbags for our vehicles.
Of course.
A car crashes and suddenly the airbags explode and they wrap around so you don't get injured. Well, airbag jeans sort of have the same principle. If you fall down living retired, instantly your jeans explode and they send airbags straight to your bum.
This is actually a good idea.
I'm not giving you a bum steer here.
Good, because I'm going out to buy a pair of airbag jeans. Oh, Gary Jock joins us every Thursday morning, 10:30, to bring his humor column, Living Retired, to life on the show. It's always good for a chuckle, and make sure you stay with us because it's that month of the year that you absolutely, under no circumstances, would want to move, right? Call your moving friends. All you need is a pizza and a case of beer. Stay with us. Living Retired with Gary Chalk continues on the Mike Farwell Show. This is 570 News Radio and Rogers TV. Every Thursday morning at this time, Gary Chalk joins us from the Living Retired headquarters. That is the place where he meticulously writes the humor column, Living Retired. You can find it online anytime at livingretired.press. And hey, why not? While you're there, sign up to have the column delivered directly into your inbox every week, livingretired.press. You can even contact Gary there and invite him to come out to your service club or your corporate event, whatever it is, and he will bring his unique humor to your event as well. Gary, you wouldn't possibly be the kind of guy that would ever consider making a move from one residence to another in the month of February, would you? In the heart of winter?
No. Typically moving for me is getting up between periods of the hockey game and moving over to the beer fridge. That's as much as moving means in this house. But a friend of mine did. Can you imagine?
No.
He moved everything he owned, which is probably means not much. Everything his wife owns, which is enough furniture, clothing, dishes to open a Canadian-wide chain of stores to compete with Value Village. But they moved. And it's the middle of the winter, prime polar vortex season. Now, to be fair, his friend, he thought that a polar vortex was one of those really nifty outdoor winter jackets you get over at LL Bean. So anyways, of course, it snowed the day my friend moved. It was followed by freezing rain and a warning by the police to stay off the roads. So it was sort of, after all, just like sort of a typical summer's day in Buffalo.
Poor Buffalo.
Oh, I'm telling you. Oh, I'm sure you've moved, but certainly not in the winter. My friend should have known that nobody moves during wintertime. The first hint was when he called the truck rental company, and instead of putting his call on hold while they watched the hockey game, they passed the telephone receiver around to everyone in the office to prove that some guy wants to rent a cube van. Doesn't he know it's wintertime? And then there was gales of laughter in the background, even a comment from the receptionist, who I think is someone living old, because we could hear her saying, "Don't make me laugh anymore, I'll pee in my pants." So even though many rental trucks sit idle during the winter, management still convinced my friend to sign one of those daily rate, plus gas, plus mileage, plus insurance, plus a cleaning fee contract. He figures the next time he's moving, it's going to be during the summer, and he's just going to go to that price and purchase a truck.
There you go. Exactly. Might as well. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's really just the beginning. When you're moving, you get your cube van, you get that all set. First of all, heavy appliances are called heavy appliances because they're heavy. This is why you also rent the dolly. So you got to go back to the place and now get the dolly. And, of course, you have to have a late fee on top of the dolly. And besides, I think it's easier to convince your friends to help you move when you can tell them that you've got a dolly for the heavy stuff. They're a little more likely to help you out.
It's a good point. It's a very good point.
Yeah, that's right. So, this fellow's wife, she insisted on wrapping, make that triple wrapping, every piece of china, the pots, the pans, plethora of plastic food containers. What she's really saying is she doesn't trust you and your friends when it comes to moving her worldly possessions. And, there's going to be some beer involved there.
That's true.
That's true. Now, the packing process, of course, it begins well before you move. I mean, after all, it's so much fun taping all that paper together with that loud rip from the tape gun. I love just ripping that thing off. And for my friend, it helped because he was doing it while watching the Olympics from the year previously. It was good therapy, he figured, for his anger from the figure skating judges. Just made him feel better.
Rip the tape, yeah.
Rip the tape, that's better. Then once you get all the boxes taped in such a manner that even an airport sniffing dog couldn't determine what's inside, you got to mark the contents. And this is where somebody comes up, preferably your wife, who has a thick black marker and good penmanship. Because after all, if you can't read what's in there, you don't know what's in there, which maybe isn't bad, but you did move it.
But it's like a surprise when you get to your new place and you're like, oh, we had this stuff.
Yeah,
I didn't know we had one of these.
Yeah, what you ended up having is the wedding invitations for your daughter's wedding. So, why are we saving these? They're divorced. And you don't need a particularly fancy font when you write on the box. You just want something that can be, easily read by your friends because they're still lifting heavy boxes when they collect their old age pension. That's how long this move's been going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, another component of a successful move requires creativity. Well, okay, just call it what it is, bold lies. You have to convince your friends to help on the day of the move. And if they helped when you last moved, which was 23 years ago, or you haven't gained any new friends in 23 years, you're on your own. You can never move on your own. It's not going to happen. So then, nobody returns the van back to the rental company by closing time. I mean, that doesn't happen.
How could it? There's too much to do, Gary.
Exactly. Turns into a couple of days. So this means now you also pay another day's rent. And the small type in the legal agreement indicates that this additional day rent for your cube van is calculated on a complicated formula, which is basically based on the debt ceiling limit of the country of Brazil. It's just a little minor thing, but it's a whole lot of money.
Always read the fine print.
You got it. And, of course, often people don't get the van back on time, so that means you also have to have a full tank of gas. This is where your do-it-yourself movers appreciate buying the insurance rider before they leave the other spot. Because, those itty-bitty signs posted over top the gas station line that says, beware maximum height 120 inches.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Nothing gets the attention of the gas station attendant quicker than a rental cube guy coming in who's got the rental vehicle and smashes into the metal overhang. And that's when the do-it-yourselfers learn firsthand how firefighters douse a Class 3 flammable combustion liquid fire, all the while shaking their heads in disbelief.
Because somebody was moving in February.
Yeah. What's with that?
No, it's crazy. Gary, where were you 30 years ago? I'll tell you two quick stories. One time, this radio racket, it moves you around a lot. Yep. And I was making a quick move, and I called my buddy one day, and I said, what are you doing tomorrow? He said, nothing. I said, want to help me move? He said, yes. And it turned out to be the coldest day of that winter. Yes, it was winter. And you're talking about packing and doing such a good job with packing. I helped move another buddy one time. Granted, he was going from one unit in a building to another unit in the same building. His idea of packing, Gary, was to fill up shopping carts with his junk and push it through the hallway down to the elevator.
Well, what I had those plastic milk containers. They're the right size for albums.
Oh, of course.
Yep. All my Iron Butterfly albums, which are worth a lot to me, and Jan just shakes her head, they're all in those plastic milk containers. And one final thing. Here's an analogy about moving. Think back to when you had a colonoscopy. Now, as bad as it was, the colonoscopy finally ended.
The move doesn't, yes.
Moving doesn't. It just keeps on going.
Oh, it's the circle of life. Gary, I always love it. We'll talk to you again next Thursday.
Have a good one. Go Rangers.
Gary Chalk joins us every Thursday morning just after the 10:30 news to bring his unique perspective on living retired. You can find the humor column online at livingretired.press. And while you're there, you can sign up to have it delivered right into your inbox, or also invite Gary to show up at your retirement party or some other event. He is more than happy to speak as an MC or bring a little bit of humor to whatever event it is that you have. Go Rangers, he says at the end of that conversation. We were at a Rangers game in Guelph last night. Rangers pick up a 5-4 victory. Two things happened. One is I had a real-life, first-hand experience that reminded me that not everybody is a jackwagon. I'll share that story in the next hour on the show. And we had a guest on our first intermission last night. If you missed him, that's okay. You'll get a repeat performance in just a moment. He's live in studio this time, not during our intermission, because this story is so important to share. How about a record 50-50 jackpot at our Kitchener Rangers games through Rangers Reach? And it's about more than just the overall jackpot that we're aiming for here that could, would, probably will be a record. So many other prizes. You'll find out all the details coming up on the Mike Farwell Show, 570 News Radio and Rogers TV. Are we going? He says to me. Oh, we're going, I says back to him. My buddy Craig Campbell, who is the executive director of Rangers Reach, sits across from me in the studio. And you know that when Craig is here, there is an opportunity for us to win some money. And we're looking at the opportunity for some record-setting money with Rangers Reach as the mega jackpot event is underway. Craigor, good morning.
Good morning, Mike.
I want you to move this. I want you to move this microphone. Yep, and then up. Perfect. I want you in the side of there so we can hear you better.
Okay,
that's it. Thank you.
Before we get into that, I just want to make sure that coffee was big enough for you this morning.
You're unreal. So you're the second guest in studio who has brought something with you, completely unnecessary, but I cannot tell you how much I needed this today, and that's no joke. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Absolutely love it.
Yeah, let's talk about Mega Jackpot, because when I talked to you guys last night during the intermission, I wasn't kidding when I said, I wonder why I do this to myself. I'm busy enough already, right?
Yes,
I'm
you
not
are.
35 anymore. Okay. Look, it's been something that I've been working on with our team for probably 8 weeks. We thought about it in the fall when we did Fall Mega Jackpot, and you just have to find the right group of games, and we wanted to change it up a little bit. Last year we did our Mega Jackpot in the spring over 2 games, 6 days, and we gave away over $58,000.
It's wild to think about that.
But it had a $25,000 guarantee, and I'm always the guy who's like, wow, how do I better that one? Right? It was pretty good. And so I looked at the schedule, and it just kind of worked with the opponents and the days of the games to get 4 games in just over 2 weeks. And let's go big. We're gonna give away at least $50,000. Right?
So last time it's a guarantee of 25. This time it's a
guaranteed prize of $50,000 to the winner. Look, I'm gonna spill it right now. I'm really confident that we're gonna beat that. We're going to beat that number by a lot.
Well, it was $58,000 last time around. So
we're on pace right now. We're going to beat that number, and 6 figures is not out of the question here. And to write a check for somebody for $100K plus and hand it to them and do the presentation and then tell them, oh yeah, by the way, it's tax free. What a feeling.
Yeah.
So, but the better side is, what can we invest the other half in at Rangers Reach in our community? And that, for me, coming from the exposure to not-for-profit in my life that I've had, and I had a great mentor at home that helped me. That's the important part, right? What can we do with the other half, and how do we invest it back in our community to make Waterloo Region just a better place? And we've got great ideas. My board's got great ideas, and we're going to enact on that. So we're going to try and throw all the stops at this one. and make it happen.
And we'll talk more about that investment in the community because, look, Don Cameron told me when he and I started working together many, many years ago that we will continue. We always buy 50-50 tickets, and we do it at every rink because he says when we go to those other arenas, the 50-50 proceeds will be supporting a local sports organization or something like that. And he said, we work in sports. We get paid to do this. Not a lot, but we get paid. So we will put some money back into that with those 50-50s. He instilled that in me. And obviously living right here and having the investments in my community means a ton. So I wasn't kidding you when I said last night when you came on the air for our first intermission, because I'm a regular buyer of our 50-50 every game, I had received the text message notification that the mega jackpot was open. I'm like, bam. And I in the time from the period ended, in the 3 minutes till getting to you for the interview, I had already bought my tickets. So I'm in on the mega jackpot. Guaranteed 50,000. But let's talk about the other prizes that are available because it's insane what you've accomplished here.
Yeah, I had to bring cheat sheets today.
Well, because there's a lot.
Yeah, there's 21 total draws over this 16, 17 day period, including that guaranteed minimum 50,000 jackpot prize. So, we're not wasting any time. At 5 o'clock today, we're going to draw for a $200 gift card to the Keg in Waterloo.
Love it.
And for me, I've never had a bad meal at the Keg, so I wouldn't expect anyone else would. And hey, what a great prize just to get things going. Right? Just to give it a little kick in the pants.
Every once in a while on the road, a certain member of the staff and I enjoy a meal at the Keg together.
That's amazing.
And he says the same thing. He says, you never get a bad meal here, do you? I said, no, Danny, we don't. Sorry, Danny, I just outed you.
and the rest of the prizing that we tried to, the Rangers helped us out. They gave us a suite, and we're going to add on a food and beverage credit for the first Rangers playoff home game. What a great way to enjoy a playoff game.
Absolutely.
A pair of season tickets for next year, a pair of Leaf tickets against the Florida Panthers. Who doesn't want to go see that, Donnybrook?
I want to go see that.
Right? So those are some of the things that have been thrown in. And on top of all of that, we have a whole pile of NHL jerseys that I exhausted my foundation contact list. And I'm not afraid to say it. I see people, saw Joe McDonnell in the rink before Christmas, and he's with Dallas Stars, and I said, hey, could you help me get a Radek Faxa jersey? And sure enough, he delivered. He lives in my neighborhood. He messaged me and said, hey, you want to pop over and grab that jersey? I got it. And Spotter, he's in Boston, and he offered up, I'll do whatever you need me to do. And our good friend Dom Hennig down in Minnesota.
Dahmer, what a beauty.
He helped us out too. All through our contacts, and we tried to make our list some prominent players, some local content, players who are born and raised Kitchener-Waterloo, and some Rangers alumni. And we met, I won't say we exceeded our expectations on what we did there. And we have all these jerseys, all but the Braden Bowman jersey from Vegas. And that jersey is unreal on its own merits. Every other jersey is autographed. So, there's highlights. I see comments on social media already about the Arbor Jackeye jersey. There might be a fight to get that one. I don't know. But we just tried to put everything together. And then when we looked at the numbers of things that we were able to acquire, it just popped in my head. We're going to do a draw a day.
Oh my gosh. Wait, a draw a day?
We're doing a draw a day from now until March 13th. Every day there's going to be a draw for something.
Okay, so I'm already, and I bought my tickets last night, so I could win that $200 Keg gift card today.
Yeah.
And I'm still in for the jackpot, 50,000 guaranteed, but we know it's going higher at the end.
And you could also win that suite and food and beverage credit tomorrow at Puck Drop. And you could win $3,000 during the game tomorrow as well. On the Rangers game days, we've added in a $3,000 early bird prize for the games that are not the final draw. And then it's basically from now until the 13th. It's a jersey a day. Rangers game days, we have cash. We got those Leaf tickets. We have another Keg gift card. And then we're going to have a huge amount of money to give away.
You talked about working those contacts, Craig, like Joe McDonnell, Steve Spott, Dominic Hennig, who used to work for the Rangers in team services, etc. And I know that these things can't come together without great partnerships that you and Rangers Reach have built in the community as well.
Yeah, I've built a lot of really strong relationships with foundation partners from teams like Montreal, Calgary, Winnipeg. Like I have the ability and privilege to sit on a call every month with the Canadian pro teams in sport and talk about 50-50. And I just casually brought it up in November that this is something we were looking at, and this was an idea I had of these jerseys. And maybe 10 days before Christmas, I got an email from my contact at the Winnipeg Jets saying, "We have an autographed Mark Scheifele jersey here for you. Where should I ship it?" I didn't even ask them yet. So that's the type of buy-in and relationships that we've built with these partners, and through our supplier at Bump for 50-50, because we get together once a year with all of these sports partners and talk about what's coming and how do we improve things and what can we do and get ideas. You meet a lot of people, and I had to stop reaching out to my list when things started rolling in quickly, right? And, we did some interesting things like Nashville Predators. We got a nice autographed Nick Hague jersey from Nashville. You know what they wanted? A Cameron Reed Rangers jersey autographed in return, and I said no problem.
Fair enough. Absolutely.
Why not?
Sure.
Right. So, on their end, they're going to have this Rangers jersey by a first-round draft pick of theirs that they can use for their fundraising efforts. So, those were just some of the things, and then of course, my friend Lindsay at the Pittsburgh Penguins said, "We're going to send you a Sid Crosby autographed jersey." So, now, I would have hoped that Sid didn't get injured and that he was wearing a gold medal around his neck, but he should,
He already earned that gold medal for me. Like
He did.
I would love to have that jersey.
So he is, he's that last jersey early bird on Friday, March 13th. I think it's at 5:00 in the afternoon. Somebody who's got a ticket in this draw is going to win that autographed Crosby jersey. Holy smokes. Like, never mind going to Tim's and getting your hockey card. Like, let's talk about this. This is a Pittsburgh Penguins autographed Sidney Crosby jersey.
Yeah, this is like incredible stuff. So a draw a day from now right through the final day of the draw, which is
Friday, March 13th.
Okay.
The final draw will take place at 9:15 p.m. Every ticket that you buy, you can buy more than once. We encourage it. But every ticket you buy from the time you purchase it, it's in for every draw that will take place from the time you purchase it till the end.
So I bought mine last night. I'm in on all of this.
You're in on all 21.
Yeah.
If you buy today before 5, you're going to be in on all 21 draws.
And it's easy to buy. Just go to Rangers5050.com.
Rangers5050.com from your mobile device, from your computer, from your tablet. And if you're really lazy, you can text the word WIN, WIN, to 95050, and we'll send you a direct link to get there.
Beautiful. I recommend that because then you might probably be on that text alert list and you can get the text.
You can get the alerts
like I did last night.
Massive prize amounts rolling out. So.
Okay, so text WIN to 95050.
Yeah.
Okay, or go to Rangers5050.com. A prize a day until Friday, March the 13th. 9:15, the final draw will be making. Guaranteed jackpot of $50,000. We know it's going to go way over that. $100,000 is not out of the realm of possibility. And the other side of this, Craig, along with not only the jackpot that one of us is going to win, but all of these prizes along the way, from the suites to the tickets to the jerseys to the restaurant experiences. We're putting money right back into our community here, which I know Rangers Reach makes sure gets to the places that need it.
Yeah, and we specifically use language like community investment because it is an investment in our community. It allows other organizations to maybe operate or run programs that they would not otherwise be able to undertake without that funding. And we do it through our community impact grants that open every year in the fall. We do it through our scholarship program, which has grown every year since Rangers Reach started in 2020. We have this great opportunity to be ambassadors in our community of this is an organization that's investing what they do and using the tools they have to better Waterloo Region. And that's what we're all about. So I'm excited. It makes me excited being a born and raised Kitchener-Waterloo person. I can't think of a better way than to have that other half go back into our community. I come from a very community-minded household. You know that.
I know.
And so I'm grateful for this opportunity, and let's make it happen.
All right. One final note on this. You said, you think about what we can accomplish. Do you think on what you've just put together here, and do you, any part of you wish you hadn't gotten this far? And this is a pretty big deal you've put together.
You know what? It's a lot. I don't wish I hadn't got into it, but I will be 100% honest with you. I've already thought about how the heck am I going to get this elevated for next time?
Right. How do you top this one?
How do I go to the next level? And everything I do, you know me, everything I do is like, okay, I've done that, been there, done that. What's next? And so now I'm going to have to get my thinking cap on and think about how do we top this? How do we make it rewarding for our fans and our supporters of Rangers Reach? How do I make it rewarding for them, while at the same time providing that reward and investment to our community? Those are things that flow through my mind a lot. And hey, I'm man, oh man, I hope on March 13th we're drawn for a huge number.
Are we going to see that number run around the board? And of course, once you got a guaranteed 50 in there, once it gets beyond 50, it'll start climbing.
Once we sell past 100,000 in sales, that number will start to increment. But when, for people going to the game tomorrow night at the auditorium, that prize on the board says 50,000 right now, because it's guaranteed. Someone's taking at least 50. But my goal is to get that number moving. And if we can get that thing moving, I think the excitement's going to be crazy.
So does that mean there won't be individual game day jackpots then between now and March 13th?
No, we've done on the game days, we're doing $3,000 early bird prizes during those games to still make sure that someone's taking home some cash. But again, if they win the cash, their ticket, their number stays in the draw for all the prizes that follow up to and including the mega jackpot.
And then you take $80 out of that $3,000 you just won and buy a bunch more tickets.
Well, we'll be following up. I'm never short on endeavors. So this finishes on the 13th. The regular season finishes on the 20th, and then the playoffs will start on the 27th. So on the 27th, we'll be launching our 50-50 for the playoffs, plus our playoff bonus. You know that we would never start the playoffs without doing that cumulative draw.
Of course.
Yeah. So we're excited. There's lots of things happening here between now and a very long playoff run.
I'll tell you, I can taste my baseball steak from the keg already. I like it medium rare. Thank you very much. I'm in on the draw. You can be too. Rangers5050.com or text WIN to 95050 and get in on the mega jackpot event. A draw every day from now until March the 13th. To you and the entire team at Rangers Reach, Kreger, thank you. Keep up the great work, and thanks for being here.
Thanks for helping us get the word out, Mike. We really are grateful.
Happy to do it anytime. Hey, listen, I do a little thing on the show every day called Not Everybody is a Jackwagon. Just to remind folks that, there's good people out there. I had a firsthand experience coming home from the game in Guelph last night. You want to stick around for a few more minutes?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to tell you the story, and we'll see what Craig thinks about what this little kid called me. But I'm still saying he's not a jackwagon. That's coming up on the Mike Farwell Show, 570 News Radio and Rogers TV. As if you really need it after hearing that great story about all the good work being done by the folks at Rangers Reach. The mega jackpot event underway, Rangers5050.com to get your tickets. But as if you need it, every day on the show, I share a little story to remind you that not everybody is a jackwagon. And Craig Campbell, the executive director of Rangers Reach, stays in studio with me. So here's what happens when I'm leaving the Sleeman Center in Guelph last night. Remember that the Rangers won the game, so you'd think these Storm fans are in pretty sour moods, right? I'm walking out of the arena, and I'm heading to the parkade to get my car. And as I'm approaching the door, I hear some footsteps
Through the
behind me.
mall, right?
Yeah, I know. I had to go. You said it, not me, but yes, I stopped at the food court. And anyway, so I'm at the door to the parkade, and I hear the footsteps behind me. So, I'm a good Waterloo County boy. I'm going to hold the door. And as I turn around, it's just a young boy, and his father several steps behind. And this young lad, he 13, maybe 14. It was hard to tell under the toque. It was Griffins, probably a minor hockey player coming from the game. And he walks through the door. He says, "Thank you, sir." I'm like, whoa, hey there, young buck. Easy on the sir. But here's the best part. So I thought this was like a young boy. "Thank you, sir," for holding the door for him. He continues on through the next door. Dad catches up. And as we're all then walking into the parkade, Dad says, "Did he say thank you?" And I'm like, "Good job by you, Dad." And I said, "Yeah, he did, but he also called me sir." And then Dad says to the kid, "Hey, he doesn't look that old." So there you go. 2 Guelph fans last night, not jackwagons.
Well, in defense of the young guy, look, you and I are not getting younger.
We're getting a little gray. I get you.
We're moving up the ladder. So take it as a compliment. Like he there's a lot of other things he could have called you after the end of that game last night,
Absolutely.
and he didn't.
Absolutely.
So,
I'm impressed with the young man and the father that cared enough. Clearly, this is something that they teach.
I saw some social media today that, man, there's a lot of Guelph people who are getting tired of getting beat by the Rangers.
Get used to it, Guelph. Yeah,
enjoy it.
Not everybody is a jackwagon, as we remind you every day. Thanks again for being here,
Thanks
Craig.
for having me.
Flipside coming up on the Farwell Show, 570 News Radio and Rogers TV. Indeed, I turn the microphone over to you during this half hour every week, Thursday mornings, just after the 11:30 news. We have a little fun with something we call the flip side. Swap some stories, take walks down memory lane. In today's case, we will swap some stories because there's an old saying that goes something like, "Misery loves company." And today marks exactly 4 weeks. So we usually look at 4 weeks being a month. I guess in this case, it would be exactly 28 days. Regardless, it marks exactly 4 weeks today that this problem began for me. And I really wish I had a cool story to go with it, like I saved a dog from a burning home or something like that. But I do not. All I did was go to bed on Wednesday night, January the 27th, and woke up on Thursday morning, January the 28th. And here I am on Thursday morning, February the 26th, and I continue to experience the same problem. And so I wonder when this has happened to you, not this specific thing, but the thing that puts you in a great deal of physical pain. I want to know, what is the worst pain, physical pain, that you've experienced? I don't have my heart's not in emotional pain today because I'm at that age and stage of life where I choke up at commercials. Did you see that one during the Olympics of the dad and the daughter getting up to watch the games together? And it was a Tim Hortons commercial. Oh my gosh, I was getting weepy just watching the commercial. So I'm sorry, I can't do the emotional pain today. And when it comes to the physical pain, I know that I have no business in the area, but any of you ladies who would like to say, "Oh, I gave birth to twins," or even just gave birth, that's fine. I'm here for you. I'm not saying my pain is worse, but I'm saying I am in what I do believe to be the worst pain of my life, and all I did was go to sleep and then wake up the next morning. So the story I would like to hear from you on the flip side today is, what's the worst physical pain you have ever experienced? And how did you overcome it? What did you do? Maybe I'll get some tips here, because for me, I am almost certain I have a pinched nerve in my shoulder, neck. I can't exactly determine where the pain radiates from the top of my left shoulder up and around the trapezoid muscle, I would say, all the way down my arm, and the pain is incredible. I think I should be grateful today because I at least have arrived at a point where I can sleep again. The first week or so, I barely slept. I don't know if my body's just adapting or if the pain isn't as bad as it was at the beginning. But on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm here to tell you today, if I'm not a 9.5, I'm nothing. And it's been a month. It's been 28 straight days of this ridiculous, incredible pain. Yes, I have been to see my doctor. Yes, I'm going to see my doctor again this afternoon because when I saw her 2 weeks ago and she prescribed some pain medication, it has not done a tinker's darn. Not one thing has it relieved for me so far. So if you're wondering why I've been a little more cranky than usual on the show, it's because I am in agony on the left side of my person. That's the God's honest truth. I don't have to make my problems your problems, but I'm in a lot of pain right now, and I'm wondering whatever happened to you, because this happens to us all, right? So what's the worst physical pain you've ever experienced? How did it happen? I hope your story is better than mine. And how did you get over it? 519-570-2545, star 570, and 1-800-570-5715. George, good morning. You're on the flip side.
Yeah, good morning, Mike. I'm sorry to hear that you're still dealing with that shoulder pain.
That's okay. I appreciate you, buddy. My shoulder's a long way from my big mouth.
Well, for me, I don't know if you've ever had an inflamed gallbladder.
Oh, I have not, but it does not sound pleasant.
No, it's got to be one of the most painful things I ever went through. It was actually falling apart. It was just corroding away. They had to do emergency surgery on me, and that's probably the most pain I've ever felt before.
How long did you experience it? Like, did you wake up one day? What happened?
What happened is over the last month or two, it would just come and go. And it would just be painful, something I would eat would trigger it.
Right.
But the last couple of days, I'm not the kind of guy to do this, but I went to my boss, I'm just leaving. I'm just in too much pain.
Wow.
And I just walked out. I didn't care what they said. I was in too much pain, went to emergency, and that's when they found out I had a gallbladder problem.
Well, I'm glad you got it taken care of. Thanks for calling today, George.
Yeah.
Good to hear from you. As always, let's go next to Jason. Jason, good morning.
Jason, Mike, how's it going?
Are you in pain too? The pain has got your brain going in a different direction. Is that?
Yeah, about 10 years ago, I dealt for almost a year and a half with severe sciatic pain.
Oh, I've heard of sciatica. It's not easy, eh?
Oh my gosh, I've never been since or before so much pain. The only thing, I went to physio, I did chiro. The only thing I noticed that actually worked was acupuncture.
Really?
I did about 4 or 5 sessions with an acupuncturist, my massage therapist who does acupuncture as well, and it's one of those things where you don't even realize it's gone until you say, "Oh my God, I don't have any pain anymore." So I don't know if you're not into needles, I get it, but if you get a chance, do some acupuncture. That might help, or see a good massage therapist, not just one of these, I'm going to make you feel really nice, a pain massage therapist. I'd recommend that. And just on the last note, make sure you have easy trivia questions tonight, okay?
You're going to be there on the City of Kitchener team?
I will be there, yes.
Oh,
so
buddy, you're in the line of fire now.
Seinfeld and Steelers questions, I'm good to go.
I got it. Looking forward to it. I'll see you tonight.
See you, Mike.
Thanks, Jason. That's Jason Deneau, who is the Ward 3 councillor in Kitchener, and he will be at our, well, not mine, but I'm going to be hosting. United Way Waterloo Region Communities is presenting the 4th annual corporate trivia night tonight. We're going to get together at the Catalyst, have some good pizza, maybe a pint, and I will be asking the questions. I get to be the Ken Jennings, so I wonder, I did this last year. Did I get the answers provided? I don't think I did. Either way, I don't have to be the one answering. I get to ask the questions. And now that I know Jason's going to be there, he will be in the line of fire. I will use my witty repartee on him. Just on the point of the acupuncture that helped out Jason. So I know that I did this same thing before. And I guess, I don't know, does it flare back up again? And I got the actual date because when I went in to see my doctor this time, and she looked at my chart, 2003. And I remember that one. It was a winter's night. I was taking an improv class at Second City in Toronto, and I left and I walked out, and again, winter's night, I put my hands in my pockets and I kind of shivered. You know, you bring your shoulders up and you shiver, and boom, that started it. I remember that. And then I don't remember how long it took to get over it. I do remember doing acupuncture back then, but I think I only went to 1 or 2 sessions. I want relief, and I want it now because it's just every day. It's all day. It's every day. It hurts a lot. I don't know. Donna, what's the worst physical pain you've ever been in?
Oh, probably a sore knee.
A sore knee. You, young lady, are very, very lucky.
Yeah, and older I get. My birthday's next month. I'm sure with all your pain, you're going to hear a lot of different ideas, but do you have a family member or a friend who has a Dr. Ho? His little machine works wonders on various pains.
No kidding, eh?
I think it's called a TMS machine, and you get these little pads, and you just put it on where it's sore, and it gives you little jolts. It's worth trying.
Okay,
Maybe
Donna, I'm at the point I'll try anything. I'm not even kidding. Thanks, Donna. Good to hear from you today. A sore knee. Listen, I've been through that before. My right knee had to be scoped. That was not as bad as this. This is bad. Bob, you're on the flip side. Good morning.
Well, good morning, Mike. It's been a while since I've called.
Yes, it has been.
I have called to comment on the worst pain, and I hope and pray it never happens to you and nobody.
Okay, let's hear it. What was it?
It was a dramatic motorcycle accident in 2019.
Oh, no. I don't even. Do I even want to hear this?
Not really, Mike. No.
Oh,
I
Bob.
just thought, you know what? I want to give an opportunity to share that, and this was the opportunity today to do it. And yeah, it was a leg. I lost my leg, amputated.
Oh my gosh.
Bled to death, almost. Died. I did die, actually. And now I have a prosthetic leg and rods in my leg. And that's the worst pain that's with me every day.
Oh, I can only imagine, Bob. I mean, listen, I'm glad you're here to share the story. And motorcycle season this is the time of year that us motorcycle enthusiasts start thinking about when we can get those machines out again, right? Bianca, you're next on the flip side. Good morning.
Good morning. You sound like what I had about 10 years ago. I had a frozen shoulder or shoulder impingement. I couldn't lean on it. I couldn't sit. I couldn't lay on it. I swear by physio, SOS Physio in KW, fantastic people. They know what to do with it. I had a week of complete insanity, and then I went to SOS Physio, and the recovery began.
Okay, can you help me? Because I'm honestly, Bianca, it hurts so much. I'm nervous about anybody touching me, and I have no strength in the arm, so I'm worried about that. But you say it worked.
No, it worked.
Okay.
And I was afraid. I'm normally an anxious person, but I was desperate because the pain was incredible, excruciating. It was unbearable. It was something I don't ever want to experience again.
Bless your heart. So SOS, did you say it was?
SOS Physiotherapy in KW. They have several locations, and they're absolutely fantastic. They are experts.
Thank you so much for sharing this. Yeah. All right. Have a great day, Bianca. See, it sounds like it's the same thing. And when George said earlier that his pain was so bad, it's not something he does. He just went to his boss, says, I got to go home. Like, it's not in my nature. And all I think about is if I did that, if I just said, listen, pain's too much for me to talk, which clearly it's not. But what would I do at home? I would sit there and I would think about the pain, right? Which is why I actually even deliberated doing this segment today, because I don't need the reminder. It is there, and it is agony, and it's been there for 28 days as of today. I might just go Bianca's direction here after I see my family doctor again this afternoon. What is the worst pain, physical pain, you have ever been in, and how did you get over it? We're sharing our stories on the flip side this morning. This is the Mike Farwell Show, 570 News Radio and Rogers TV. We are sharing stories today of our pain, our anguish, not the emotional kind, though. I'm not cut out for that stuff. but our physical pain. The worst physical pain you've ever experienced and how you got over it. Back to the phones for Farwell's Force member number 165. Good morning, Sean.
Good morning. I've lived a fairly active lifestyle, and I've had a few good accidents. I found luckily sometimes you tend to go into shock, and the body kicks in. And I've had several knee surgeries, and luckily I've had some good drugs courtesy of the doctor. I found the biggest pain has been the aftermath. In the early 2000s, I was cycling down Water Street North in Cambridge. Somebody rolled through a stop sign. I hit the side of their vehicle. I was moving at about 50 kilometers an hour. I went right over the hood, and I separated from the bike, and the pedal struck me in the back of the calf. The police arrived, picked me up, and they actually they were quite nice. They drove me home. But what I didn't realize is that I'd ruptured a vein in my calf.
Oh, no.
Anyway, so I was at home, and all of a sudden, my whole leg sort of went numb. So I got myself to the hospital, and the doctors looked at it, and they weren't sure what to do at this point. So the surgeon looked at it. He prodded it, poked at it, and told me to come back in a couple of hours. Anyway, the calf was various colors of purple, red, and all that. It had gelled pretty good. So what they had to do was make a couple centimeter incision in my calf and squeeze the blood out through the incision.
Okay, Sean, it's coming up on lunchtime. You're killing me here.
Yeah, let me just say there's a gurney. There's probably a still gurney in Cambridge Hospital with my fingerprints embedded in the still. I was covered in sweat. I had to ask them to take a break every so often so I could catch my breath. It was exhausting.
Oh, my.
Pain I've had in my whole life.
Sean, I thank you for that sort of, brother, great story. Greg, you're on the flip side. Good morning.
Hey, Mike. How are you this morning?
I'm all right, man. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. You
Good.
know, I've had a bad back all my life, right from almost age 16 on. In 2013, I had 3 herniations.
Oh, my word.
And they started to pinch a bad nerve in the back. I was on my back for 8 weeks. I couldn't get from room to room without a walker. My wife, she had to look after me almost 100%. I tried everything. And I was on hydromorphone, the highest they could give me, and only give me 20 minutes sleep at a time. Because I never seen it. I don't think I've seen a light at the end of the tunnel on it, you know. And the only thing that helped, I went down to the Carmi Clinic in Brampton, and the doctor there started to give me some nerve blocks and cortisone in the tailbone. And I had about 4 treatments with him in 4 weeks, and it turned it around, and it got me going again. But that was the only, I tried everything before that. I mean, you name it, I tried it, and nothing worked. But that helped. And, you know, with your problem, too, with that other caller, that lady, I'm going to SOS physiotherapy for another problem, and I'll tell you, they're good.
Well, I am glad to hear that. And you're getting around now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. Listen, Greg, appreciate it.
I have to, every move I make is a calculated move now.
I'll bet it is. I'll bet it is.
Oh, yeah. It took me 75 years to make it calculation, but I'm getting there.
You're a good man. Good to hear from you. Thanks for calling today.
Yeah, take care, Mike.
You too. Appreciate it. Okay, so that had to be worse, right? Even with hydromorphone, only 20 minutes of sleep at a time. Early days of this, there was no sleeping in the Farwell household. None. I think I've adapted more than anything, so I can get some sleep. But other than that, forget about this ding-dang thing. Dave, Farwell's Force member, number 47. Good morning.
Morning, Mike. I had real severe pain decades ago, and I turned around and threatened to punch the doctor out if he didn't do what I told him. And every medical profession or doctor or whatever has said since then I was lucky because it could have ended up much worse. That was a toothache.
Wow, yeah. Oh, I can bet with the nerves in there, eh?
Exactly. It drove me up the wall, and I went to the dentist, and I said, I don't care. Pull this tooth. And he argued and argued. It probably is the wrong tooth. The pain travels. I said, I don't care. Pull this one. And so he pulled it. And I was lucky. It was the right one. Have a great day, Mike.
Thanks, Dave. You too. That's funny. You got the right one. I wouldn't mind, I don't think, lopping off the left arm. Who cares? I'm a righty anyway. Ron, worst physical pain you've ever been in?
Oh, which one would you like? Would you like a knee story or would you like a back surgery?
I want the worst one.
Well, they were both worse. They were both equally. So I'll give you my knee one because it's the weirdest one. I was walking down the street and somehow I broke my knee by just walking.
How did you? No, you don't just break your knee walking.
No, I did. Because what happened is one of the ligaments pulled the bone out, shot it right into the kneecap, caused the kneecap to split in two. And then step back in.
Ouch.
Yeah, I was walking and bam, it just hit me. I couldn't even put weight on the foot. I basically hobbled all the way across the street.
That is, walking down the street and you break your knee. Like, I couldn't imagine, but how good is my story? So I go to sleep one night, you see, and I get up the next morning and I am in this tremendous pain. I thought initially it's just one of those kinks. You know, we often get those. I know I do anyway. I wouldn't say often, but every now and again, these kinks show up and they go away after a couple of days. This one, sadly, did not go away, has not gone away. And the pain radiates all the way down my arm now. Lucky me. 28 days and counting. So I'm just asking for your stories today about the worst pain that you have ever been in and how it is that you got over it. I've got to get you to the news center for an update, but I'm happy to continue with these calls. Rosina and Beth, just hang in there for me, and we'll take more calls right after this update from the 570 News Center. It is the Mike Farwell Show on 570 News Radio and Rogers TV.
Take out the papers and the trash, or you don't get no spending cash. If you don't scrub that kitchen floor, you ain't gonna rock and roll no more. Yakety yak.
Don't talk back.
Just finish cleaning up your room. Let's see that dust fly with that broom. Get all that garbage outside, or you don't go out Friday night. Yakety yak.
Don't talk back.
It is your daily Talkback Hour. Phone lines wide open for you, and they're already busy. Just remember, if you try one of our lines and you can't get through, you might sneak in the back door with another one of those lines. The numbers, just to remind you, 519-570-2545, star 570, or 1-800-570-5715. We'll get right back to those calls. Start with Beth. Good afternoon, Beth.
Good afternoon, Mike.
You got some help for me here? What's the worst pain you've ever experienced?
The worst pain I have ever experienced, I thought, was induced labor, but it turned out to be a kidney stone.
Oh, my gosh. So my brother has gone through this more than once. I don't know if he wants me to tell that on the air, but I just did. I've heard awful things, Beth.
Yes, and they're all true.
Eventually, you can pass said kidney stones. I know I say that and make it sound easy, but that's what happens, right?
Yeah. I mean, basically, it's just take the pain relief and hunker down, and eventually you will pass that thing. But oh, my God.
So, and you're speaking from experience. Induced labor, not as painful as passing those kidney stones.
Correct.
Incredible. All right, yeah. Beth. Well, thank you for sharing.
Take care, Mike.
You too. Have a great day. Very nice to hear from you. Rosina, Farwell's Force member number 357. Good afternoon.
Hi, Mike. The most excruciating pain that I ever went through, it was kind of a foolish way for it to happen. I was raking leaves, and in Cambridge, I don't know if they have it in Kitchener and Waterloo, but you can put the leaves out on the road.
Oh, yeah, they have that in Kitchener, too. I think it's really dumb, but anyway.
Actually, I like it, except for this particular instance. Anyway, the leaves were a little bit wet, and what we do is we rake them out on a tarp, right? You put them on a tarp, and then you drag them out to the road.
Sure.
So I had this tarp full of these soggy, wet leaves, and I went to bring it around me. I kind of twisted because I had to get through between the garage and the patio, the side door patio, so I had to kind of move these leaves around me. Anyway, whatever I did, I twisted, and I guess something went pop.
Oh.
I got the leaves out to the road okay, and I didn't feel it right away until later that evening. And then it was just this searing pain that started from my tailbone and went right up between my shoulders. And it was so bad. So I didn't have anything to take or anything, and I didn't want to go to the hospital or anything. All I had were some NSAIDs, leaves. So I took some of those and whatever. But my friend just so happened to give me for Christmas one of those bean bags, and you put it either in the freezer or in the microwave, right?
Right.
So that's the thing that saved me.
I'll be darned.
I slept on a bunch of pillows with this heated up bean bag all along my spine, and then you had to get in a position that it didn't hurt and then not move.
I believe it. I believe it.
You couldn't scratch your nose or bend in any way. Like once you got in that position, you had to stay there because any way you moved, it really, really hurt. And it took about 3 months to heal. And then the other thing that I did, and I did the same thing when I screwed up my hand, using a palm sander of all things. Too long. I was sanding stairs, and I was on the damn thing for 4 hours and didn't realize I was ruining my nerves in my hand.
I believe it.
Yeah. And I couldn't lift my hand over my shoulder or anything like it. I couldn't hold a teacup.
Rosina, I thought you were going to say your biggest pain was Preston Paul.
Well, yeah, that could be it too.
Thanks for the call today. Good to hear from you.
All right. But I wanted just to say I increased my vitamin C, just to let you know. I increased my vitamin C to 1,000 IUs a day, and that really helped too.
All right.
3 months for my back to heal. Okay.
Thanks, Rosina. Okay, bye-bye. So I got to increase my vitamin C and get a magic beanbag. Listen, this has had all the heat and all the ice patches and all of the, what am I on, gabapentin. It's still, 28 days. I need more. I need more. I don't know what I need, but I need more. Kyle? I need more Kyle in my life. Hi, Kyle.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, you know what you need to be? Just do the little bit of an Eastern European trick is do a shot of Rakia or Schlivovitz, which is a plum brandy.
Yeah.
Usually about 60 to 70% alcohol, and you'll never feel that again. Or you just get whacked in the other shoulder, and then that way it'll even it out. What do you think?
It's funny. My buddy Mike just emailed me to Mike at 570news.com. He says, beer fixes everything. Listen, I tried that last night after the game. I came home. I called my beloved. I said, I'm coming in hot tonight, honey. I got to come home and have a beer. It doesn't help. But maybe I'll try Slivovitz. I like the idea of that.
Have an edible. Maybe that will help. We're in Canada. That's legal, right?
I know. So, it is.
There you go. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. Have a good one.
Thanks, Kyle. Appreciate you. You know what? Have an edible. So I talked to a coworker who knows a little bit more about that stuff than I do because it's just never been something that I've been associated with. And I'm not judging. I'm just telling you that was my life. And so I had a good conversation with my coworker, and I got a recommendation, and there I was down the street here on Ira Needles at Tokyo Smoke the other day, and I feel badly for not asking the young man his name because when he found out I had my coworker place the order for me because she knew everything. And so I just had to go in and pick it up. And he's like, oh, Mike Farwell from the radio? I'm like, yeah, Mike Farwell from the radio. He says, I listen to you every day. I'm like, great, thanks. I really appreciate that. But I was feeling a little bit embarrassed because I'm new at this, right? But I got the CBD topical application. And sadly, still, it has not done a thing to alleviate this ridiculous pain from the top of my shoulder all the way down my arm. Terry, you're next. Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, Mike. Yeah, the pain I've had is my shoulders popped out of the socket a couple of times years ago. That would hurt.
Yep.
Then you have to pop it back in. I don't know if you've had that.
I got a buddy who has had that, and I've seen him go through it. We were playing football one day, and he got up from the bottom of a pile, and he just started going towards his car. He says, I got to go. And the look on his face, he knew what he was up against.
Yeah, that's how I injured it as well, was playing football. And fractured ribs are not pleasant either.
Oh.
It's hard to breathe.
Yeah.
Mike, I'm thinking about your pain on your neck. I'm wondering if that is a pinched nerve, or it could be like a degenerative disc, or even a herniated disc.
Listen, I've read all of the scary stories on the internet. All of those things do exist as possibilities. I had some X-rays. I haven't got the results yet. I think that might tell me something about a disc problem if there is one.
Yeah, it might. Sometimes it's hard to detect on an X-ray because it's more for bones and stuff. But I have a degenerative disc on my lower back and one on my neck as well. And I have this teeter board at home. I don't know if you know what that is, like an inversion board where you suspend yourself upside down, or any like you can even go 45 degrees if you want. That tends to help a little bit, alleviate some of the pain because it stretches out the discs. I mean, sometimes herniated discs do heal on its own without surgery, but it does take time. But I'm suggesting, Mike, if you know, for what it's worth, if you want to take that advice, is get one of those boards. I mean, you can probably get one like for $500 at one of these.
$500?
Mike, you're a rich man.
I was going to say, what do you think I'm made of? Like $500, Terry. Cheapers. That's a week's wages here.
Or you can just cut down on your coffee for about 2 years, right? A cup a day. With
I don't go. I bring my coffee from home. Don't you take my coffee away from me, Terry.
I got you, Mike. I do the same.
All right, buddy.
Just a suggestion. It does help me. That doesn't heal it, but it does alleviate some of the pain. Anyway, thanks, Mike.
All right, thank you. Appreciate that. I was just thinking of what Rosina said, where she found the position that she could stay in with the magic beanbag heated up. See, that's been my problem all this time. I can't get a damn position where it just hurts. It hurts. 24/7, it hurts. Hey, Dallas, you're back. Good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I know. The one quick thing I wanted to bring up first before I got into the pain story, you were talking earlier about this young gentleman calling you sir.
Yes, sir.
Well, yeah. Well, when I was growing up, you called everybody Mr. and Mrs. And
of course.
Yes, sir, no, sir.
Yep.
That's just the way it was. And, there's still a few out there that do it. So,
I appreciated it. And then the fact that the father followed up to say, was he polite? I said, yeah, he really was. Too polite.
Well, and you know, it's funny because every now and then at work, somebody will call me sir, and I'll look at them and say, you don't call me sir. It makes me feel old.
Exactly. That's exactly how I felt, Dallas, but appreciate the call. That was the not everybody is a jackwagon story today. The young man who I met leaving the Guelph Storm game last night, I held the door for him because I heard the footsteps behind me. And as he walked through, he said, thank you, sir. And then as his dad went through too, and we all walked into the parkade together, his dad said, did he say thank you? I said, yeah, he did. Good job, Dad. It's a polite young man you've got there. Mick, you're next on Talkback. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you today?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good. So most pain I've ever had from an injury. 4 years ago, actually, this month, I slipped on some ice rain outside. You know how everything gets nice and slippy. And as I'm looking at my feet in the air, thinking to myself, I'm going to come down on my head because of the angle I was on, I twisted my body and came down on my shoulder, which dislocated both my shoulders, both ribs, popped my clavicle. You know, it was extremely painful. I'm not going to lie to you. They put me in bed for 4 weeks, and the whole 4 weeks I had this dull pain. You know, something wasn't right, doesn't feel good. When I start walking around again, I realized when I twisted myself, I had ruptured one of my boys.
Oh, no. Whoa, no, Mick, easy now. Whoa.
Yeah, so it wasn't painful till I start walking around, and when I start walking around, I'm like, this is not right. And we finally end up going back to the hospital again. Now, this is 4 weeks after the original injury, which was pretty painful. And, yeah, it was actually beyond repair. It was destroyed because when I came down, I pinched my legs together. You know, when you hit.
Sure, I totally get it.
Yeah, so that was the worst pain ever.
Mick, oh, my gosh, brother.
It is what it is. It's like
it is what it is. Are you nuts? Those boys are important.
I didn't lose both of them. I lost one of them. That's the main thing, right?
Oh, sure, if you say so.
As for the sir and ma'am, I hold the door open for everybody. It's my thing. I'm 55 years old. It's respecting. I do it to people younger than me. I do it to people that are older than me. But about 6 weeks ago, I did it to somebody in an office complex, and I opened the door for her, and she literally snapped on me for holding the door, that she was her own independent person. She can get her own door, and she doesn't need any man to do it. Yeah, that taught me a lesson, too.
All right, Mick, thanks.
Thank you very much. Have a good one.
You too. You know, it's funny. I turned 55 this year, too. And I would keep holding the door. If somebody feels as though you have done them an indignity, that's okay. I'm still going to hold the door the next time. I didn't know who was behind me in Guelph. I just heard the footsteps. I'm like, oh, I'm not just going to walk through this door. I'll let the person coming behind come through with me too. And we did. And then I got called sir. I'm still trying to get over a rupture in one of the boys. Oy, 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 oy. It's Talkback on the Mike Farwell Show, 570 News Radio and Rogers TV. Every day from noon until 1, we open the phone lines to hear directly from you, and we are carrying over our stories from the Flipside this morning about the worst pain we have ever experienced and how we got over it. Because I'm in the midst of what I'm almost certain is a pinched nerve in the upper shoulder neck area, and 28 days today and counting, and there has not been a moment's relief, not one moment. On a scale of 1 to 10, I have often described it as greater than 10. I might be generous and call it a 9.5 today. And that's been every day for a month. And I'm starting to lose my mind a little bit. Jonathan is next with us on Talkback. Hello, Jonathan.
Hey, Mike, 310 again.
Farwell's Force member number 310. I see him at Rangers games. I get his emails. Now he's on the phone with us. Hello.
Hey, worst pain, a couple times of the year I get whole body aches. I don't know what causes it, and the only thing I can do really is just wait it out.
Oh my gosh, waiting it out, eh?
Yeah.
How long does it take?
Sorry?
How long does it take?
Varies, but usually around a week.
Wow. That's long enough if you've got this full body ache for an entire week, although sometimes I guess if you get the flu and you're bedridden really bad, that might be part of it. But I don't know. 28 days and counting on this guy's side. Hey, Preston Paul, the pain in the butt to Rosina. How are you, buddy?
I'm going to leave that one alone.
Okay.
My worst pain back in, 1982, down at the Kinsman Carnival at the end of May, hundreds, probably thousands of people around, out with my girlfriend down there, and my right testicle decides it's going to let go.
What do you? I don't even know what that means.
I didn't either back then.
Oh my gosh, Paul!
What happens is it partially turned. It didn't completely let go, which was even worse because it was still hanging on. So I'm writhing in pain. They call an ambulance, and an old girlfriend's younger sister, who was part of the ambulance department, shows up, and she looks at me and she goes, "So, Paul, what's wrong with you?" And here I am holding myself. I had to go in for emergency surgery that afternoon. Wake up, and my sac is about 5 times the size it normally should be. It was unbelievable.
I can't even.
It was so painful. I've never felt anything since then, and I pray to God, touch wood, that I don't ever feel that pain again. So,
I felt the pain vicariously just listening to that story.
Well, if you ever been kicked there, it's almost the same thing, but it lasted a lot longer.
All right. Go back to being healthy, okay?
Well, I will. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, buddy. Good to hear from you today. Listen, I'll just be honest with you. This is how much of a wuss I am. I own it. Just listening to Paul's story, like I'm afraid of I'm afraid of the vasectomy. That's how afraid. I'm such a baby. You're gonna put a needle where? No, you're not. You're not. I'm just. Oh my gosh, I'm such a baby. Grant, good afternoon.
Yeah. Well, you and I are alike.
Are we? We're both big babies?
Oh, yeah.
Well, what's the worst pain you've ever been through?
Well, it goes back many years ago. I went on a bus trip with a bunch of people from work, and it was the Toronto Zoo. I could feel my knees getting weak. So the day was done. I came home, went to get gas, and you could hear the snap in the gas station. And what it was,
the snap of your knee?
It was my ACL.
Oh, yeah. A good old athlete's injury right there, Grant.
Yeah, and for weeks, you could barely put any pressure on it, and I had to go through a lot of physio, and even physio was quite expensive, and I still have difficulty at times So I can't do what you do when you come to a doorway. I have to stop and make sure that I'm aligned. And same way at the countertop in the kitchen, I just can't move my hand.
How does your ACL affect your hand? That's an interesting one. But yes, I've gone through the knee and I've had the scope, and that was not as bad as what I'm currently experiencing. Kelly, good afternoon. You're on Talkback.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Kelly.
I hope you're having a good day.
I am having a good day. I am, despite all my complaining.
Well, I thought I'd join in on the complaints. But
Okay.
I also wanted to say, if you're ever having a quiet day at 570 and people aren't calling in, just start this up, because it took me half an hour to get through.
Oh, see, I know it's been busy. Okay, but wait now, Kelly, because I want to get a chance to hear your story, but I got a minute till news. Is that enough time, or do you need to wait more?
Real quick.
Okay.
I'm just going to tell you the 4 worst things. First of all, childbirth.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why I kept doing it, but anyway.
How many times?
4.
Good job.
Yeah, kidney stones. I have a terrible disease called medullary sponge kidneys that make a lot of stones. So I'm in it for life. Plantar fasciitis I've had. It was terrible. I thought I was going to be unable to work again. Got that resolved through special exercise. I found a fella on Facebook. He was amazing. And the worst was trigeminal neuralgia, electric shocks in my face. That was the worst. You know what I did? I increased my B12, and it went away within 2 days.
I'll be darned.
But
Kelly?
that doesn't work for everyone. Everyone has a different story on
Of
their
course.
trigeminal neuralgia, but it helped me. So I just thought that, if somebody has it, they could try it.
I appreciate you.
I hope you feel better soon and get that resolved.
Thank you very much. Great to hear from you. Who knew? Talking about our pain stories keeps the phones so busy. Kelly took almost an hour to get through. There's a line open for you, though. Talk about your pain story or something else on Talkback. It's the Mike Farwell Show, 570 News Radio and Rogers TV. Oh, I got a good laugh during that update with Matt. Nothing that Matt said. It's not about him, but one of my other coworkers poked his head into the studio and says, Preston Paul has to come with a disclaimer from now on with his stories, because his story, if you heard it about 10 or so minutes ago, made you very uncomfortable, particularly if you are a gentleman and you have testicles. I'm just being honest. I'm using anatomically correct terms. But my coworker said the only thing that would have been worse is if something had popped out, rolled down the street, and a dog ate it. Oh my goodness. Paul's story really made us cringe a little bit. We are talking a little bit, actually quite a bit, on our Talkback Hour today about the worst pain we have ever experienced and how we got over it. I'll just leave the rest of Paul's story to your imagination. If you missed it, we'll get back to the phones. Matt, good afternoon.
Morning, Mike.
Good day, sir.
2 years ago, the worst pain I ever went through was a vasectomy when the freezing didn't work.
Sorry, what?
I got a vasectomy.
And come on, Matt. Come on.
No,
I admitted earlier, like, I'm a big baby and I'm afraid to even get one. Now I'm even more afraid.
Me and my wife decided not to have kids, and I said I'll go through the operation, and the freezing didn't work.
Jiminy Christmas. And you're still here to talk about it.
Yes.
Like, I might still be lying on the ground just saying, no, I'm done. That's it. I can't take any more. Oh, Matt, thanks, I guess. I'm glad you're okay now. Did the vasectomy take? Did that part at least work?
Yeah, it took. It's just that was the worst pain I've ever had to go through.
I cannot imagine anything worse, to be honest with you. Suddenly, I feel way better about my pinched nerve in my shoulder. Thank you.
Have a nice day, Mike.
You too, Matt. Thanks for that. I can't even imagine. Like I said, I'm a big baby and am afraid to do that because I don't want the needle for the freezing to begin with. Because yes, I'm a wuss. But no. See? That's why my coworker came in here and said, we need a disclaimer before Preston Paul's stories. We might need disclaimers before Matt's stories too. But I know we won't need a disclaimer before Mary's story. Right, Mary?
Oh, no.
Okay, good.
No.
No.
No, I'm, anyway, I have extreme pain. I have bone on the vertebrae, and also which is impinging on a nerve. So I need surgery. But I still have to get MRIs and all that. But I'm going to tell you, and since somebody else brought it up, I wasn't going to tell nobody. But old Mary, is taking CBD gummies.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. And guess what?
Okay, what?
They work.
Tell me more.
Yeah. I don't overdo it. I mean, I could take a pile more. I only do it to get me out of some pain. Now, they don't work for everybody. They didn't work for my daughter, but thank the Lord, praise the Lord, they work for me. I only take maybe 3 a day.
3 a day?
Well, that's 20 milligrams.
Well, I don't know anything about this stuff. Mary, are you high all the time?
It's not high. It's CBD.
Oh, right.
Yes. Come on.
Doesn't have the THC in it.
No, it's
okay.
pain. It doesn't, and again, like I said, it doesn't work for everybody, but I thank God it works for me because I can move around. And, I would poo-poo it, but I tried it. Works for me.
Good for you.
And it's only CBD.
It's only CBD. Must be fine then. It's like saying you didn't inhale. I get it.
No, but you said that you put the stuff on your shoulder. No, take it internally.
Well,
my darling.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Nurse Mary. Thank you. So here's the interesting thing. Again, I mentioned earlier, I sought the counsel of a coworker who is far more experienced in this area than I am. And off I went down the street to Tokyo Smoke earlier this week, and I picked up this topical CBD cream, if you will. I don't know the exact name of it or whatever, but anyway, that's what I did in hopes it would work. And Mary says, take it orally. Okay. And this young man who was excellent, provided terrific customer service, way better customer service than I got at the coffee shop this morning. Sometimes I wonder about customer service and where it went. Anyway, this young man at Tokyo Smoke was great, and I wished I had asked his name because, as I said earlier, when he saw the name on the order, he's like, oh, the guy from the radio. Yeah, the guy from the radio. And he said, I listened to your show. I'm like, thank you for that. But I would like to say, hey, guy, you do good customer service, and thank you for that help. But he also said, if you don't find the topical application working, then you might want to try orally because it gets into the system a little more quickly. So anyway, maybe. But that leads me to, and where I thought Mary had gone with the gummy. So I'll tell you this too, because again, acknowledging that I'm a big fat baby, okay, but I have been now for 28 days exactly experiencing the very worst pain that I can remember at any point in my life, knee surgery included. And it's daily and it's constant and there's no relief. And so I'm at the point where I'm ready and willing to do anything. Anything? Yes, anything. And I'm absolutely going to get into some massage therapy and some physiotherapy. But as I was exploring this CBD option with my coworker who knows far more than I, it was also suggested or offered, hey, would you like to try a gummy? And this is not just CBD like Mary's, this is THC. Now, I've shared with you before, my one and only experience in this department is when I went to Amsterdam some years ago. And when in Amsterdam, go to a cafe, which in Amsterdam is the place where you get the marijuana. So, bought myself a joint, sat down at the bar. I probably smoked it wrong. Didn't do anything. Bought myself an edible. It was a muffin. Saved it for the next day. Remember, I know nothing about this stuff. And when I got up the next morning and I was flying out of Amsterdam, I ate the entire muffin. So anybody who's more experienced is probably laughing right now. I hear you. I get you. I didn't know. And man, did I get messed up. I got messed up. So my coworker brings in a gummy and explains to me how best to go about consuming it. Try just this little corner first. That'll give you about this much. If you feel anything, great. If you don't, maybe try half, but don't do the whole thing at once. Yada, yada, yada. If you've got experience in this department, because there's no judgment, this stuff is all legal now and probably should have been 30 years ago. So, hey, I'm here for it. Like, if I get a little bit high on the weekend, is it going to give me some momentary relief? See, that's the other problem. I'm over the momentary relief idea. I got to get this fixed because I can't. Like, it would be nice, though. I wouldn't mind. Like, I might nibble on that edible on Saturday night and just, I'm going to the coldest night of the year walk first, and then I'll go home and I'll see if I can get high. Everything's an open book on this show today, apparently. I didn't think I was going to admit that to you. But if you've got experience in that department and it helps with your pain, hey, let me know. Amanda is on the phone with us today on Talkback. Hi, Amanda.
Hi.
You ever get high?
So, no comment.
Fair enough. That's allowed.
Okay, so the worst pain I ever experienced lasted about 2.5 to 3 years.
What?
Yeah, my first marriage. No.
Oh,
all jokes aside.
All right.
Worst pain is called a cluster headache. And on the medical pain scale, it's actually childbirth is number 7. This is number 9. So even though I went through childbirth 3 times, and the last one was breech and 9 pounds, 13 ounces, I would have rather have done that naturally again than have a cluster headache.
Jiminy Christmas.
Yeah, it was intense. It was insane. It lasted about 3 weeks, and I'm not a depressed type of person. That's not my personality by any means, but I contemplated throwing myself in front of traffic just to stop the pain.
It's awful. Oh, I can't imagine.
Yeah. You know what worked in the end?
What's that?
Ketamine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they give it to me at the hospital. They tried everything under the sun first, and then their last resort was ketamine. And I'd say it took the edge off. It made it functional.
Okay.
But yeah, it was insane.
Wild. Now, just before I let you go, Amanda, it's okay to get high now. We're allowed to do that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm all for it. Every way.
Thank you for the call.
All right, take care.
You too. Bye-bye. Ketamine. There you go. Or maybe this gummy. But I think if I consume this gummy on Saturday, it's only going to give me temporary relief. But who knows? I might enjoy it more than I did the first time when I ate that entire muffin. Worst pain you've ever been in and how you got over it, or your experience with not CBD gummies like Mary enjoys, but perhaps other gummies. I don't know. I'm trying to learn stuff. I'm crowdsourcing cannabis-related and pain relief information today. That's what I do on the show. I use it for my own personal pursuits. It's Talkback on the Mike Farwell Show, 570 News Radio and Rogers TV. Every day from noon till 1, phone lines are open to you, giving you the opportunity to talk back on the issues of the day, or, as today's show has gone, stories about the worst pain that we have ever experienced. 519-570-2545, star 570, 1-800-570-5715. Lorraine, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Well, that's the worst pain I've ever had. I'm having right now.
Oh, no.
Oh, I'm having an attack of sciatica.
Oh, I've heard about this. My good buddy, who is an auto mechanic, it got so bad he was off work for months and months and months.
Oh, well, of course, I'm not working, but yeah, I've gotten a physio appointment, and I've had this before, and the physio appointment's not till the 5th of March, but I know it helped a lot. So we'll hopefully it'll help this time.
For how long have you been dealing with it, Lorraine?
Now for about a week.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so you got an appointment coming up?
Ice pack, then heat, then ice pack, then heat, and my quarter of a Percocet now and again.
I'm glad it's only a quarter of a Percocet, Lorraine. You be careful with those.
Yes, I know. Yeah, so
Anyway.
Okay.
That's my sad story.
Thank you for sharing it.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. There you go. Heat and cold and heat and cold. Listen, I've done the heat. I've done the cold. I've done the gabapentin, which I've been on for a couple of weeks now. And it's not there yet. I've done the topical CBD treatment. Only a few times. I just started that this week, but it has not done. I'm hoping I could do something that just offers a little bit of relief. I don't do well with clinics of any kind, if I'm being honest with you. So I probably should have started down the physio thing a while ago. And again, I'm a strange cat. Massage therapy, I'm sorry, but it freaks me out a little bit. I know you RMTs, you're amazing, but I have a really hard time with the idea of lying there on a table and having you rub my shoulders or my back. I know that's dumb. I know how dumb it is, but I'm telling you, that's just how weird I am. It's not. I would rather be assigned a workout than be told to lay on this table while you rub my shoulders. I'm a weird dude. Rudy, are you as weird as me or less weird?
Well, I don't know if I'm that weird, but
nobody's that weird, eh?
But my worst pains, I've had a history of kidney stones.
That's come up a few times today.
Oh, that is beyond. And the only thing that helped then was when I went to the hospital, they give me some Demerol.
Of course, yeah.
Nothing else will stop that. But I tell you, last week, I twisted my knee, and the year before, in October, I fell on my knee. I was off work for 5 weeks. But last week, I twisted my knee when it was really icy, and I was walking my dog. So I was walking in the field, and it's like the moon, except icy.
Yeah, I hear you. And that's the kind of winter we've been dealing with, isn't it? JP, good afternoon. What's the worst pain you've ever experienced?
It would be back pain.
Oh, yeah. And it affects so much, doesn't it?
It does. I tore a disc in my lower back when I was about 26. I'm 58 now. But about 7 years ago, my back got so bad they had me scheduled for surgery. And actually, it was one of my customers said, go to this osteopath. I went to the osteopath. They said, stop doing what you're doing. Because I was doing acupuncture, massage therapy, chiropractor, everything I could do. And they said, stop. It's going to take some time to settle down. It took 6 months. But after that, I didn't have surgery. My back has been good. I do maintenance about every once a month. I go to the osteopath. I do some stretching with yoga, and it's all good now.
Really?
Really.
Oh, do I ever like to hear that?
I spent 6 months on the floor in our living room, and I had my boss would come over for meetings. I would be talking to my customers and different things like that, laying on the floor. I remember going, and this is when it got better. This is a funny story. I was going to New Orleans for a meeting, and I had to drug myself up, lay in the floor corner of the airport just to kind of get myself there and stuff. And I was in a boardroom, and it was 10 after 10 in the morning, and I turned, and everything went back into place. But it took about 6 months of me stopping everything else I was doing, settling down, just taking it easy. I was going twice a week. It cost me a fortune at the osteopath, but it settled it down. They said it took you 25 years to damage it. It's going to take some time to correct it. So that's my story.
Thanks for sharing it, JP. I'm glad you're better.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Good to hear from you today. That's wild stuff. And I saw my father go through extreme back pain where he'd be laid up too. He injured it while he was doing construction when he was a young man. He was, as I've told you before, spent 30 plus years in education, but he couldn't go and sit at his desk as a principal because he was laid up on the couch. Like he just couldn't move because his back was so bad. Crazy to watch him go through it. Kelly, good afternoon.
Hi. I just came in a little late, but I heard you have a pinched nerve.
Oh, I have a pinched nerve.
And I had one in my neck and went for a lot of treatments, everything.
What?
And
oh, yeah.
finally, they decided to do acupuncture. And I'd never had it before, and it kind of freaked me out, but I did it, and it's gone.
You are the second person to mention acupuncture.
Yeah. So I highly suggest it. Now, I know everyone's different, but it works for me.
Kelly, I'm desperate. I need something. So, okay, I'm going to go. Thank you. Okay, appreciate it. I did it the first time I did this 23 years ago, but I think I only went for, I only went for like 1 or 2 treatments because I want relief right away. I'm impatient that way. Gary, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Mike. First-time caller here.
Oh, well, welcome aboard the show, my friend.
Oh, thank you. It may not be very glamorous, but I had an anal fissure.
Oh, my word.
And I'm telling you, the pain, is so intense. People say it's like trying to pass glass.
Oh, Gary.
Oh, it was incredible. At the times when it was at its height, I couldn't sit down, I couldn't exercise, I couldn't do anything. It actually brought me to tears. You try a number of medications, and sometimes that works for some people. And then if it doesn't, then you go for a surgery. The short form is LIS. I don't know the long term, but basically the sphincter muscle is a little bit too tight, so they kind of cut that to loosen it up. And it didn't work, the surgery. And I went back to the surgeon, and he referred me to another surgeon. And what kind of made me a little miffed is he told me, well, this guy does a lot more than me. And I'm thinking, oh boy, maybe I got a first-time surgeon here. So I went and seen the other guy, and at this time it was better than what it was before the surgery. It was I would say bearable. And he kind of advised me, he says, if you can live with it, he says that's the best thing to do. I really wouldn't do another surgery unless it was like really, really bad. And so I kind of lived with it, and you kind of learn about diet, kind of reading and stuff.
Yeah, sure.
And finally, after about 6 or 7 months, it went away.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear it. Gary, I'm fresh out of time. I got to run.
Okay.
Thanks for the call today. What a debut. First-time caller, anal fissure. Oh, my goodness. We talked about our worst pain on the show today. We'll lighten it up. Tomorrow's Friday. The not $1 million question. All request. It's Motown and more. It's the Farwell Show. 570 News Radio and Rogers TV.